Bada boom, bada bing.
Takes a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live.
Live as we'll ever be.
You're real quiet.
Me? Oh.
Yep.
Let me see. What I got? Gain. How about now? Am I quiet
Still,
now?
still quiet. I can turn you up.
Might be on your part.
Still quiet. Real quiet. Like it's not even your microphone.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it is mine. Let me. Oh, default microphone.
There you are.
Is that better?
That's better. Now you're loud. I'll turn you down just a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing. I think
Sounds
it says
good.
default.
What's going on this evening, Chris? Tell me what the good word is.
Good word. I don't have a good word. I've been busy again.
It's good.
I cut wood yesterday. Saturday it rained. We got some good rain Saturday.
Benny got some good rain.
Oh, that's what I hear. Roswell's underwater. I seen some videos. I didn't know if I should believe it.
He's at Hagerman, but that's close to Roswell. But look at, oh no, look at what the cat's drug in.
What?
Look at him. He doesn't even have any water on his head.
I know. Maybe he has his waders on, though. You get some rain up there at all, Benny, or is it just all Roswell?
No, not at my house. Nothing. Roswell got some rain, but most of the rain was north and west.
Well, I thought Roswell flooded.
Stuff.
Yeah, Roswell did flood, and Dexter flooded, and Hagerman flooded, and we couldn't. Yesterday, we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't get across the river to the east. We couldn't go through the country to the south. We would have had to go all the way up to Local Hills or Maljamar to go around to Artesia, or we could have gone to Tatum and hopefully get into Roswell. But I had everything I needed right here. I had fresh eggs, a little bit of water, some bacon, and my first wife.
Good. You know, the government, they say the government is manipulating the weather, but why in the world would they want to flood you guys out over there?
Well, why not Roswell? That's where all the aliens are. They need to get
not
rid
anymore.
Of the
I don't think the aliens are there anymore.
They all washed away.
Yeah, now the big deal.
Have you ever heard of Craig Vincent? Or Vincent Craig? Sorry.
Vincent Craig.
Yes.
Yes.
He sings that song.
The Candy Bar.
Well, the Candy Bar song. He sings the Alien song.
I haven't heard the Alien song.
Oh yeah, we need to get that song on there and play it.
What is it?
Vincent Craig. Or is it Craig Vincent or Vincent Craig?
It's Vincent Craig. He's a Navajo. He passed away, but you've heard the Candy Bar song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Nell Leonard sang the Candy Bar song for us.
I got that somewhere here.
He sings an Alien song too. It's pretty funny. Guy's pretty good.
Huh.
I have his CDs. I have all his CDs.
What's a CD?
I knew a guy who knew him. Yeah, signed, I think, too.
What's a CD?
It's been a while. He died. Shoot, he died in 2000 and maybe 9 or 10, I want to say. It's been a while.
Indian boy in Navajo?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was a singer. Real funny guy. Has some good songs. Yeah.
He was an entertainer.
So, Benny, what have you done? Anything? Anything happening? Have you been besides running a gravel pit?
I've been back on the blade again for almost a week, and then we didn't work today because we couldn't get anywhere. And I'm supposed to go get the blade and rode it 12 miles to a different place, different pit, and scratch out some more storage space for gravel.
Well, good. Keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah. And been looking at properties and stuff online, and I got to talk to the realtor and see about, I think the Sunday and Monday before Thanksgiving, going over there and looking at stuff.
What is that? Is that place you was talking about earlier?
Yeah, there's a couple places right now that we've got on our list to look at and
Yeah.
see what pops up between now and then.
See who we got here in the peanut gallery. Jeremiah Flaw, howdy. Louisiana Hunting. Missy's here. We missed her last time. She didn't show
I
up,
know.
did she?
I called her. I said, "Where
Good.
you at? Where you been?"
Don't let her get out of socket.
No.
Rick Cooley,
Never.
Idaho Hound Hunting, Hazelnut Hounds, Randy Riggs, Felipe Castro. Good evening.
Hazelnuts hounds.
Did I say that wrong? I can't
Hazelnut.
read. Hazlets. What'd I say? Hazelnuts.
Hazelnuts.
Hazelnut hounds.
Yeah, let's just start off making fun of people already.
Yeah, you know,
Man, I've been editing video all day.
been working at it, huh?
Oh, I had to do a podcast real quick, send it to W. That will go
Cool.
on Thursday.
Which one you got going out?
The one I did Wednesday when I had the Great American Hound puppy giveaway people on.
Oh, okay, cool.
New Mexico Hound Hunting was on. They did, what's his name? T.L. Jones. They were looking for a trailer. You know, he'd asked me a few weeks ago, hey, if we find one person, we'll concentrate on one. And he did. He found a gal that hound hunted, and everything got washed away, so they were looking for a trailer. And I guess they found one. So
Good.
And I said, well, if she needs anything else, let us know, and we'll try to get it sent to her. She has like 3 or 4 kids, so, you know, clothes, shoes, all that good stuff, food.
We got Mike Rich, Kelly Berry, Troy Barbera. Is that how you say that?
Barbarian.
Cass River Ranch, West Siberian, Leica.
Oh, you know who sent me a funny video? Gene Morris. And he's making fun of all of us in the welding and Benny. Let me just send it to you. Oh, he just sent another one, too. I can't wait. Oh,
Guy
Kamala
Fry
class. You don't
from
wanna see that one.
Arkansas. And our buddy, I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Dylan.
Dylan.
Is he back?
Sorry,
Axel
Dylan.
Miller.
He's back. He's been
We
missing
need to
for
get him on. We need to get him on and see. I'm trying to find. What is it? Oh. Where did he send that to me? Dang it.
close enough.
Maybe he posted it. Barber.
Mr. Anderson.
Dandy.
John Page from Kentucky.
Let me see. Man, did he send that to my... Maybe he took it off. I was going to send it to you. It's kind of funny. I can't find it. Anyways, Benny, what else you been doing?
Oh, this week we're planning on everything, and I've been throwing stuff in the pit out back so that we can clean this place up, put it on the market. And this weekend I'll be over in Brett's neighborhood, and the following weekend I'll be over in your neighborhood.
There you go.
What are you going to be doing in my neighborhood? Visiting family?
He's meeting with the undercover guy about you.
The twins will be teenagers.
Oh,
wow.
Gross.
I ran into your daughter the other day. I guess I told you I was coming out of the mountains.
Yeah.
They were going for a hike up through there. Of an evening. It was a nice evening too. There's Marty Beard. I talked to him the other day on the telephone. My good buddy. Houndsman Deluxe. Trying to listen to the big words tonight.
G Swaza.
Lucky old Jigs is louder than you guys. So what else? I don't know. Turn that thing off.
Oh, I forgot. Everybody knows I do a live every Monday. And they still call me.
You are on the phone quite a bit, aren't you, Chris?
I was on the phone till noon today. A lot of PI stuff. Had to make some calls, and and some other business stuff, and then I don't know. I have to go down there. I have to go down to Buckeye and pick up some mountain lion kittens. Some guy has some over there. I
Dingleberry, what
gotta
do you
get them
call him?
over there. I gotta
Knucklehead?
get
Or
them over there to Roswell area.
you got to deliver them to Benny?
I guarantee. I guarantee.
Well, they better be catfishing kind of cats this right now.
Oh, Nicholas finished his book.
Nicholas. Oh, he did. He's been kind of busy, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
He's
He
one
ain't
of
got
those.
no time for us little peasants.
He's one of those
He's a
egghead guys that's so smart he doesn't like to talk to
no,
guys like us.
no. He don't like to talk slow. Use small words.
And dumb it down for us.
Hmm. Hey, check out my cup.
What's it got?
It's a
Moonshine
little.
in it?
It's a little. No, it's water.
Moonshine with a straw?
Yeah,
That'll
it
that'll
has.
work.
It's a little lid you can buy for these mason jars.
It's like
Kind of cool.
Make your own sippy cup.
Yeah. That way, the oxygen, you don't get no oxygen in that moonshine, and it hits you real good.
so, Mr. Chris. You titled the episode tonight. Why?
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 Is
Why?
why? Why?
What were your thoughts?
Why do we do all this stuff? Why? Why do we
Why do
run
we
hounds?
do we do this, or
Everything.
is it why do we
Everything.
hunt, or why do
I
we
mean,
invite Benny on?
why do we invite Benny on? He's an outlaw. He's undercover outlaw.
Alleged.
That is true.
Nothing's been proven in a court of law yet. Statute of
You
limitations
think?
might have ran out though, right, Benny?
Well, for which incident? Alleged.
We're not going to bring that up.
Yeah.
I
Why do you?
haven't got a hound dog for, I think, 8 or 9 years now, so maybe that's a limit.
What about the
Or
jaguar
maybe,
kittens?
or maybe
Well,
you
no,
do
I don't
have
feed
a.
those. I don't
Maybe
have
you
to
do
feed
have
those.
dogs, and they're somewhere else.
Well,
I
I
know
did.
lots of
Yeah.
people who've been banned from hunting, and all of a sudden they got dogs, but all of a sudden their collars have different names on them.
You mean they've lost their right to hunt by
Yes, sir.
breaking the law and being convicted?
No, they didn't. They didn't lose it from breaking the law. They lost it from getting caught breaking the law.
Oh,
You don't lose your license from breaking the law. You lose your license from getting caught.
I'll have to remember
Right?
that.
Hey,
So
you're not.
when let's see, when we were all on the big game houndsman, that was a big deal, and the coffee shop was going on, and what's his name? I call him shit the bed. John Ketzler. He went by Hagerman,
Mm-hmm.
and Sourdough and I were big pals, and I sent shit the bed over there to Northern California. He was going to Oregon, and I said, "Hey, stop in over here and pick up a couple pups for me." He says, "Oh, I don't have time to spend the night." And I said, "No, spend the night. You'll be you'll be decently surprised at who you're staying with." And so at that time, Sourdough revealed himself to him, and but on the way back, John had gone all the way over to Oregon to buy some stupid little dog. And on the way back, he opens the tailgate of his pickup and opens the dog box to let the dog out, and he never sees the dog again. So, and it just thought about switching these dog collars, Chris. So I looked around out here, and I had an old dog collar that had Richard Dickerson's name and phone number on it over in Texas. And so I got an old catch rope, and I tied the Honda off that catch rope onto that D ring on that dog collar, and rolled it all up and took it over there as a present from me and Sourdough to shit the bed. So the next, and I also put an old fashioned drag on it from my years in my 20s. It was made out of a 1 inch wrought iron with a chain link on it, and then had some, probably some 3/8 wrought iron as hooks, grapplers. So I threw a drag on there too, and I think Shit the Bed still has that hanging on his fence. Sourdough and I did that so that next time he goes on one of those dog safaris, he could have that on there, and maybe his dog could get hung up in the fence or something at the rest stop. But you never can tell when those old collars and nameplates will come in handy, Chris.
Hey, was that one of those dogs you brought me to?
No, I don't.
You brought me a dog that had never been.
No. That guy, it was, those were family later on, those dogs that I got from Sourdough were those high tan dogs that
Yeah,
came out of California.
this was
And
a
then I
high tan
wanted,
dog, I think.
yeah, I still had Clyde, my male, and I wanted a female, and so this other guy that had a bunch of those dogs gave me that dog, and she was crazy, Brett.
The one I got?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. When I opened my dog box, she hit me in the head jumping out, and I found her at the neighbors. I set up a live trap, trying to trap her at the neighbors, and I never even could get her trapped. She was absolutely unhandled wild.
The let's see, who did I had Armando Arona pick her up, and the night he took her home, she had 6 pups,
No kidding.
and she wasn't supposed to be bred. Yeah. And I don't know, 3 or 4 of the pups died right away. He left her over on the blue for me, and I went over there to get her, and I brought her home with 2 pups, and those 2 pups ended up dying. I think the last one was 6 weeks old when it died.
They were
It was just a
real
big,
well-bred dogs, though, weren't
yeah.
they?
Well, originally, but I don't know what that other guy did with them. I don't remember his name anymore either. Mike Leonard would know, but Mike Leonard has a steel trap mind.
He's got a photographic
There's
memory.
there's a good live. There's a good live on TikTok right about vote yes on. My cousin just sent it to me, and it's a chick arguing. I'll play a little bit of it here.
Things used to be, which is apex predators ruling things. And of course, I know humans want to egotistically consider themselves apex predators, and we can definitely match up to them with our capabilities and our tools and our intelligence. But
This is live.
ultimately, we don't have the traits of an apex predator.
She's arguing with another
our
guy.
Wildlife and wild plants and native things. We pollute and trash things. We are not the helpers
Talking
of
about
nature.
Benny.
She's talking about Benny. She knows
the
him.
apex predators help to combat disease and wiping out the old and the sick. And I know hunters will say like, oh, well, we could do that too. And it's like, yeah, but if there's limited tags, you're not going to waste your tag on the sick, weak one. You're going to want the pretty one, or the one that definitely isn't sick because you don't want to contract something. Also, for me, it's not responsible for humans to manage, specifically with the diseased populations. It's not responsible for us to manage them, because then we could contract something and spread it. That's why I believe we should definitely leave it up to
Trichinosis.
wild
Yeah, they call that
predators,
venereal disease.
because
Well, what
they're
about the
resistant to the
poor
disease,
lions catching
and
something
we
sick
don't
and
tend
getting
to spread
sick
them
and
in the same
Well,
contracting it?
she's saying no. She's just said. She said
Specifically
that
with,
they will
the prion diseases,
clean out their own.
especially since, I mean, don't those have like a 100% mortality rate with humans?
Everything's 100% mortality
Like
rate.
CWD, is that what you're talking about? Chronic wasting disease?
Right. So for me, I know humans say like, oh, well, we could manage that, which we have proven that we're not going to manage it, because it's still basically an epidemic for wildlife. But I definitely believe it would be responsible to let the apex predators, specifically
Lions.
the ones that don't wreak as much havoc, like the cougars and the wolves. I know bears and coyotes, they do wipe out a lot of livestock.
Wolves don't create havoc.
So, I wouldn't say like, let's do away with hunting them, but definitely the cougars, I think we should leave it up to them to control disease, because they can do it in a way that isn't going to potentially harm humans.
Because
And also, they do it in a more
because
efficient way.
because cougars only go after the sick. Oh, that deer has CWD, guy. Let's go kill it.
I thought that was interesting because I don't know what you guys have seen, but when I was hunting, back when I was a youngster in Arizona, oh, probably at that time, at least 85% of the mule deer that I found lion kills were big bucks. And
Oh,
so
because
we
they
were
travel
talking.
alone.
Solitary, yeah.
That's exactly
Mm-hmm.
right. They travel alone and they bed down in real thick stuff and they're just kind of there, and that lion can sneak up on them and grab,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only one set of eyes and one set of ears. And they were
I
She's
the
agree.
saying
friendliest.
that the wolves, everybody will conserve forests and they'll kill all the sick.
Where do people? I mean,
Th-
where does someone like
This is
her
the
get
why.
her experience? I mean, does
I,
she have firsthand experience, or she just in her mind make all that stuff
no,
up?
no, this is in her mind.
How
Like
many
if you listen
miles
to,
have they spent traveling
well, this
around, following
guy,
hounds, trailing lions, and
yeah,
oh, I don't have the patience for that.
no, this guy's arguing with her, and
What do you mean?
Why?
They would give them this
Why bother?
lethal shot that was supposed to be quick and easy, and they'd sit there for 20 minutes twitching, and
Jesus.
we would grain feed like 30, 35 heifers every year, heifer elk. We'd bring them through the chute, shoot them in the back of the head. They'd be dead like that.
Yeah.
Humane. Yeah, and this is one thing you guys don't realize. When we are hunting, we are the most humane people. We love these animals. We want to protect them. That is all what hunting is. If you're a hunter out there just shooting shit, I don't agree with it. But you
I don't know
have
who
to
the
have
guy is.
management over everything.
Well, not over everything, but I understand maybe there are certain species that, I don't know. Either way, I think our species is kind of ridiculous for thinking this is the job for us when, like, we proved in previous centuries that we're such a huge threat to wildlife. And to this day, like, wildlife populations continue to go down, even though, yeah, I know for certain species, or at least like certain species in certain ranges, their populations might increase. But generally speaking, I guess, like, my thing is I have such a global view of this where
Don't ever finish
I
what
don't think
she's
if it's something we can't do everywhere.
That's it. That's those people. They have no argument about what they believe. So the question is, why do we do this? Because we have to put up with this crap. Why do we run dogs? It's expensive. It's time staking. It's not all fun. So why do we do this? Even if you look at the price per pound for meat, it's probably cheaper to go buy a side of beef, put it in your fridge. But in my opinion, we do it for tradition, for memories, teaching our kids.
It's just something that's in some people. I've taken guys, hunting with me that have said, well, not that they're against it or anything. They said, well, I don't ever care if I ever do that again,
Yeah.
But for some of us, I mean, you build your whole life around it.
Well, I took a handicapped lady, never been hunting. Me and Elizabeth. I forgot about that bear. I think I'm up to like 11 bears I've killed out of 100 treed. We roll, and that was the first sow I think we've ever killed, and we both kind of agreed. It was very late season. It was a good shooter sow, and it was I had to wheel her in like 80 yards over Malapai Rock. It wasn't fun. She's never been hunting. She shoots this bear. It was the worst thing you could see because it just kind of hit every branch, and she literally cried about it. And me, being a sensitive, sincere guy, I'm like, hey, don't be a puss. Stop it. But she said, I don't know if I want to kill a bear ever again. And then we're done. I said, well, there you got your bear. And she goes, yeah, but when are we going to go lion hunting? I'm like, God dang, you know. So she had a good experience, even though it was not wasn't the best way as something came out of a tree. You know, it was already dead when it hit the ground. But I took somebody that was unable to go on her own. There's no way she could have went and got a bear on her own. We had to wheel her into a dang. We had to wheel her all the way in Malapai. It wasn't easy at all. You know, why do we do it? I did it because I gave somebody a chance that would have never otherwise had a chance to do that. And I did it for free. We did it for free. I didn't charge, and I didn't go bragging around and saying, "Look at me, I'm great." I did it because we had an opportunity to do it. You know, and every time I take somebody in that's never been hunting, it's just great, or never been behind dogs. You know, but that's why I do it. I guess my kids, I don't do it for the kill. I tell you that, or because I don't kill a whole lot of stuff. I'm not a trophy hunter, as they call it. I'll shoot a cow elk before a bull elk. You know, I'm just hungry. That's all it is. I don't keep this figure by shooting big old 6-point or 7-point. You know, 300 plus. I get this body I have from a spike or a cow, or you know. So she saw Animal Planet once, and she's a wildlife biologist. She must be from my state.
I got a little deal.
Brett,
Let
why
me
do
see.
you do it?
You know, I wrote a little thing here. Let me see if I can share it. If I can figure out how to do it. Oops.
You take my dogs away in hunting, you might as well take my life, kids, family. Take my life, kids, family. It's been what I have done from childhood. Same here. I've just
Let me see.
Brett answered the why better than anyone on his pack job video.
That's what I'm trying to get this where I can share this. I don't know if I can.
There's a lot of whys, I'm sure, but I mean, it's a lot of trouble. These days, it's a lot of trouble. Why do people become cops these days? Stupid. No one likes them. No one likes hunters. No one likes any alpha male event or any kind of thing an alpha male will do in their life. UFC, scrutinized. Hunting, scrutinized.
Well, and it's even harder for the women to be involved in something that, like you're saying, is the alpha male deal. You know, I've known I've known 2 women that were real successful lion hunters. One, I'm sure you heard of Karen LeCount. Karen, she married Richard Holcomb. So it was Karen Holcomb when she died of cancer. She hunted with the Lees. She hunted with Bill Workman. She hunted with all of them. And of course, then Missy, you know, Missy, what's her last name now? Hale?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But she had to fight and claw and scratch her way through it. Nobody wanted to help her. They wanted to give her all their junk.
Well,
see if I can share
it. The houndsman I know is Elizabeth. Period. Hands down.
She's good with her hounds.
She may be grouchy. She may be a grouchy old cuss and from California, but I still
Let's
love
don't
her.
get that started again.
Not on this show. That girl has dogs. She has dogs. There ain't a person that could argue with me that she has shitty dogs or she's a shitty hound person. So
she looks like she's real good. I mean, that she's good with her dogs and everything.
Yep.
Everything I've seen.
And she's funny. She's funny. She may not look funny, and she looks mad all the time, but she's funny. It takes a while to warm up to her, or for her to warm up to you. But I'd hunt with her, and her dogs taught my dogs. I lost my rig dog, and her dogs helped my dog Dirty get going. When he was only 3 or 4 years old. So
Benny asked me why I, it's hard to really figure out. It's hard to say, like Chris was saying earlier, it's expensive. It's, can be heartbreaking too. I mean, there's a lot of negatives really go with it, but man, you get that the first time, that I went, it just changed everything. Of course, I always wanted to hunt from when time I was a kid, hunt with hounds because of what my granddad said. My granddad, I had a little dog Dad brought from the yard, looked like an Airedale, and my granddad said, "Oh, those are bear dogs." And I said, "Bear dogs? What do you mean bear dogs?" I was just a little bitty guy. "Oh, they hunt bears with them." And you can hunt bears with dogs. It was just amazing. And of course, everything you hear about. And after that, I read Elliot Barker's book, When the Dogs Bark Treed. And of course, he had some half Airedales. And I was hooked.
if there was a meter and Warner Glenn was 10 years old going to a tree and you could see that meter when you're going in the tree, and if today was his last day he could go into a tree was today, and you'd look at that meter, I bet you'd just be right. It wouldn't be no less of the excitement of the feelings you get when you come into a tree. Every time. Even a slick tree, or dang man, they're probably trashing. You still come in excited. And then if you're like me and discount your dogs every time, you're like, oh man, it's probably going to be a fox or elk, and you see something, I think you just get more excited. I have 2 dogs I ran the last couple of weeks, and they both got me excited as heck. One of them I was going to give away to whatever. And my wife said, no, keep that dog. And he's actually turning out. The other one, just a crazy little female. Man, that thing's only 30 pounds. Man, she wants to go. She treed good. They both treed real good. Now I just got to get them trailing.
Isn't that, though, you can tell the excitement in your voice. Isn't that something when you have that young dog that the switch flips and you see them turn on, you see them do something, or just like that Suki dog I have, I told the story a lot of times. She'd never even seen a lion. They called me on those lions up there the other day, and just to watch her trail and pick up losers. She doesn't know what a lion is. And then the older dog starting to honor her and go to her. To me, it was just like, to me, that's, I didn't catch the lions, but that was worth the whole trip right there, getting to watch her. She's going to be, as long as everything else turns out all right. I've already got a deal. If, I got to get her under some trees.
Game.
Yeah, to make sure that she, she'll stay treed and do everything right. But I got a deal to breed her. It'll probably be the last breeding I make. And I'm going to try. I got a deal to breed her to a very expensive hound dog. Very expensive. Probably the most expensive one that sold this year. But because I had already sold the man a couple dogs. And he said, sure.
Even when they're just opening up as a young pup on just trash or anything, there's some potential there, period.
Oh, yeah,
they're putting their nose down.
They're hunting.
And smelling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My Ben dog, man, he rubbed his nose raw those 2 weeks just trying to find something, So, yep.
I remember when, I think there were 4 of us hunting, and Clyde was a little pup. I don't know if he was 4 months old, 5 months old. And a mule deer doe kind of snuck through the dogs, and Clyde picked that up. And he acted like it was a cold track, and he never missed a lick, went and found every step she made, and sat back on his haunches. And they said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm just going to sit on this hillside and listen to my pup trash.
Oh yeah.
No, it's like the progression of a hound is the greatest thing a man can witness, and even better when it's out of his own line. It's Louisiana hunting. That's true too.
That's exactly
I
true.
haven't.
Yeah.
I have all my dogs right now. 95% of them are dirties. Dirties. My lead dog, my big dog, is his pups. I only have a couple that aren't. You know, and I kind of got that going. So now I got to kind of bring some new blood in. So I've been kind of looking around, but man, it's just like you have that line, and that uh, that it could be better. I think 90% of your dogs being trashy is your fault because you're not out enough. If you're out there 9 days a week, 36 hours a day, and the dog just ain't picking it up, whatever. Or if you're not getting it under game, like. But if you're not out there and you're only out there twice a month, and you're not putting it under game, and it ain't doing nothing, you really don't have no right to cull it or get rid of it or say it's stupid until you put it to work. And I'm guilty of it. Those 2 weeks I was out, solid 2 weeks. Oh man, it didn't take long at all. It don't take dogs long at all to pick it up and say, "We're here," and they do. And
Oh yeah.
within the third day, even we had a big dry spell. We went 4 or 5 days, and then started. I had tree jumpers, and then once you got them, and I didn't have to kill everything. Once they're treed, man, they're happy. When you're telling them you're good, and you know what I mean. Just like kids, kid cleans the yard, even if they didn't do a good job. You say it's a good job. They're proud, and they'll do a better job. You say, hey, you did a good job, but make sure we get the edges here. No different than a dog, you know.
Keep
Pet
working
them and
them
say,
and
yeah, you
mold
did a
them.
good job. You trailed them, you're treeing them.
Yes, sir.
He's a human being.
Chris almost went away there. Thought he said his piece, and that was it.
Did I? That's bye.
You just blinked out for a second.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic. So.
What do you think, Benny?
I mean, there's 1,000
Benny
reasons.
always sits there and looks like he's just about to jump onto somebody. I'm always scared to say the wrong thing. He might yell at me.
My great-grandpa, my grandpa, my dad, and all my uncles were houndsmen. Maybe we should tell all the yuppies that they can't have Starbucks and shopping malls or whatever they do up in the city. And that's how they're raised. You can't necessarily blame some of the people because that's their tradition. Their tradition is to wake up on Saturday morning and watch cartoons, and then their tradition is they don't eat at tables with the family. They all sit around. They're on their phones. They go to restaurants. How many times has people been to a restaurant? 15 people in a family, and they're all on their phones.
The problem is the arrogance of those people to try to tell us what we can do and what we can't do, what's right and what's wrong. That's the problem. It's not that they go to Starbucks and the mall and everything. It's that they're going to look at us and say what you're doing is wrong, and we think that you should leave it all up to the wildlife to manage everything. And I believe that's what we're here for, is to manage things. I mean, that's
everything has a part in this planet.
Yeah.
Even the lions, and those lions and bears can take us just as quick as we could take them,
Oh, yeah.
So they're doing it. They're doing it. Watch me go to Meat Eater.
Finish, Chris. Go ahead and finish. Now we can't hear you. What did you do?
He dropped his mic again.
Your lips are moving, but we hear no words.
That's almost like the lights on and nobody's home.
Do, 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 do. The guest has muted themselves, is what it says right here. It says guest has muted themselves. He did it before. Now he's
numerous times.
He always does it. I don't know what he does. Look at him.
I don't know.
There you are a little bit. It says the guest is muted. No, you're not. You're not muted now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it sounds like you're in a different mic. It's not on your main mic.
I wonder if it's jumping.
Do. We just lost 50 people because of you.
Probably. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but it's not out of your main mic.
You're talking out of a bucket.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
We hear you, but it's not out of your main mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's not out of your main mic.
It's showing. It's showing. Man. How about now?
Same.
How about now?
Same.
How about now?
We can hear you, but
know.
it's not good audio. You have bad audio.
Let me sign out and sign back in.
This is our chance.
Now we can say bad things about him. Well, that means I got to let him back in when he comes in here. What we need to answer is why we do this right here. Why do we do these Monday night lives? How long have you been coming on with us, Benny?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. You used to have John was on here every week, and now I can't think of the guy's name. That's bad
George?
on me. That's not right.
George
Lambert.
There you are, Chris. You're loud and clear now.
I just restarted it.
A fluke. Technical difficulty. That's right.
And I ate some banana. Maybe that's what helped.
You need to eat before you come on the show or after you get on the show. We don't need to be watching you eat.
Yeah, I'll wait. I could ASMR it.
No, don't.
Brett loves ASMR.
Terrible. How long have we been doing this Monday night deal, Chris?
A year?
A year?
Over a year, because I think we started in August.
How long has Benny been coming on?
A while.
Yeah, I was here when
6 or 8 months.
George Lambert was here, and John was here, and they were
Papa,
regulars.
Papa John?
Yeah, Papa John.
They all moved on to better things, I guess.
George moved to a location, probably one of the only locations in the world where Starlink will not work.
There's a couple spots.
He lives in one of them. And then John, I don't know what happened. John, he used to come on. John's more of a cook than he is a houndsman.
Yeah. I don't know. He should be making some of them bear videos. He just got a bear, right? He should be cooking that bear.
Right here in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They went up northern New Mexico. They caught a few bears.
Yeah. Do we know who he was hunting with?
I think he told me, but I can't remember. I don't recall. I don't know many of those northern houndsmen. They live in a different world up there.
Genesis 1:26. What is that? Let us make man, right? No, what Genesis?
I think it's.
I'll find them on there. And there's my wife saying ooh. All my support, loving support. Because the next thing as fun as running hounds is talking hounds. I would love to have I would love to just go build an old gas station. Don't even have to have gas that everybody show up at end of the day and tell your stories. I guess that's what we are. Maybe we'll just call it the gas station. Yeah. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, and make rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky,
And the lions in the mountains.
and the lions and the bears in the trees."
Over the cattle, over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, including that bimbo that was creeping on the live.
Oh, yeah, you know, as a bimbo, she don't
There
like
you go.
hunting. You know, what could we go after on these anti-hunters that would just drive them absolutely mad?
I don't know.
What do
I
they?
uh
What do they do?
I,
What do they
I
do
shouldn't I
besides
shouldn't let out
cause trouble?
I shouldn't let out this side of me, but when I was in the Guadalupes all the time, I was there constantly, and I was the only one hunting the Guadalupes, and Brian was down there in Carlsbad. Brian Nygren, he was a sergeant, and he was the one that started all my crossway stuff. And I thought, man, I should catch a lion and whack it, and then hang it upside down by its back feet on one of those highway signs, so its tail's hanging over its back, and I thought, yeah, that probably wouldn't help the situation any, but if you could do something like that in somebody's doorway that acts that stupid, they just spaz out. My son-in-law at the time, Jed, Jed,
Mm-hmm. I know,
and
Chet.
yeah, he was a government trapper, and he was like top notch. He was a top notch trapper, and they had to kill a wolf that had been. It was back when they enforced the three strikes you're out, and there was some goofy gal, young gal that showed up. Somebody clued her in that they were going to go catch this wolf and kill it. And so Jed killed the wolf, and it wouldn't get in a trap. It had been trapped too many times. So Jed killed the
You're
wolf,
smart. Yeah.
and this gal ran down there and snatched up that wolf and ran screaming and threw it in her car and took off for Wisconsin. There's no way that you can deal with people of that mental capacity.
Oh, I know. I know.
And as comical as it is, it's also extremely disturbing that there are people that go to that length.
I tell you what, now that lady where I went up there and caught that lion that killed her dog, she probably would be after all lions. I mean, she didn't. She was happy, happy, happy.
Have you ever
Have an
gone
eight
duck hunting?
A duck anyway.
have an 8-year-old grandson that killed a nice bear last weekend out of a tree stand, and after we got him, he looked at me and said, "Paul, it's way more fun with dogs." I said, "Son, you're right."
That's a
Yeah,
good. That's a good kid right there. Now.
I'm not a big bait hunter, and I have a guy that he'd go run lines with dogs or with somebody, killed lion, and he would just hated that I ran bears with dogs. I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because it's not fair." A bear. A bear runs way further than a lion, and the bear will kill more dogs than a lion. He was killing them over baits on the reservation. I said, "What is that?
What's fair about that?"
That is, you know, if they said the only way you could kill a bear lion is with a knife, I would do my damnedest to do it. If you wanted to fair it up,
I think that's the only way Benny ever killed him.
yeah, or his bare hands.
He couldn't draw the attention to himself by the sound of a gun.
He crawl up that tree and do this, thump, right in the back of the head. Pull him by his tail, thump him in the brainstem. Done. Too bad the wolf didn't come back to life in her car. They make a
Well,
lot of
one thing
money with
about
these
Jed,
debates.
yeah, and Jed and another guy were standing there, and they were looking at each other like, "What just happened, and what do we do now?"
What's the next step? Oh,
Well,
me.
it's just astonishing to me how someone can just it consumes them so bad that we're doing something they don't do. You know, so that
They have too much time on
they
their hands.
they dedicate their whole life because they don't like what we do. You know, so
But they
and
don't know anything about it.
what are you gonna take from them? There's nothing they have in their life. What they haven't, you know how you destroy anti-hunter? Everybody quits hunting for a year. What are they going to do? They'll probably just sit and rot in their house and die of boredom watching Jersey Shore or some dumb Housewives of New York or something.
Chris,
These
I
are all,
got an aunt. I've got an aunt that was spent her whole life in the country. When we were kids and we didn't live in Arizona, and my brother and I would go back to Arizona every summer, we stayed there because they lived out in the country. And she despised coyotes. And she lives in Sun City today, and she lives on a golf course. And when she first lived there, I told her, "Doesn't it bother you to see those coyotes?" She says, "Oh, I just wish I could get a gun and shoot them." And today, she says, "I really enjoy watching those cute little coyotes run and play and go hunt." And it's like, what the heck happened? What happened? This is my aunt. And I used to drive my mom's Cadillac in the evenings. Everybody's thinking about going to bed, and I'd say, "Hey, I'm gonna run, take a drive," and I'd get in her Cadillac and I'd chase those coyotes up and down the streets in the neighborhoods of Sun City, and try to run them down. All the old people were asleep and there weren't any cops out, but I never did get one smashed. But these people live with all these predators, and coyotes may not be an apex predator, but they're pretty top of the line, and they're survivors.
They're
I mean,
survivors.
I saw a video of when it Tommy Lee's wife had to fight a coyote for one of their little yippy dogs in California. Came in
Tommy,
the
oh,
backyard.
not Tommy Lee Jones.
No, um,
That's a gated. That's a
oh,
gated neighborhood. There no coyotes can get in there.
so at my folks' house in Sun City, they tell me they've got a coyote. They've got a cinder block fence in their backyard, and on the side, it's only 3 or 4 feet tall, and then it steps up and goes up 6 foot tall in the back. And they said they have a coyote gets on that fence and gets up on the top and walks it, looking to see if it can find any quail or rabbits or somebody's little dog. And I said, "So how often do you see this coyote pull this?" "Oh, probably a couple of times a week at least." And I said, "So how come you don't shoot it?" "Well, shoot it with what?" "I don't care. Shoot it with anything. I'll bring a spear gun over there, or one of those blow guns, a dart gun. Grind some edges on that dart and dip it in an oleander, get some poison on it, and whack it." But they all like to see it, and even with all the trouble that they get from all this wildlife, they still like it. You cannot reason with people like that.
Nah.
What do I have
Nope.
here? But then there's something about using an animal to hunt an animal that really, kind of fascinates me. Even like when they use falcons to catch, rabbits and stuff,
Yep.
and all that stuff, or those Mongolians with those big old eagles, and
Eagle.
they're
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah,
and they
they
catch
catch wolves.
wolves. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is like the baddest thing around. I
If
mean,
you gave
that's
me a choice to go to Africa or Mongolia to hunt, like I would choose Mongolia and go ride them little horses and just.
those
I would love to just ride
Mongolians
with those
too.
guys.
They are
Oh,
wicked horsemen. I mean,
oh,
slide underneath
ridiculous.
their horse and shoot a bow underneath the horse's neck. That's some cool
Brett's close.
stuff. That's cool stuff. I've slid off the back or off the front
I don't think they could somersault and shoot something.
and throw their boots up in the air
well,
at the same time.
well, for the record, Brett didn't either.
I didn't know I could do it till I did it. No, but if that's how Genghis Khan, the horse, I told this before, the horse was everything to him. I mean, or to them. I mean, they bled them, they milked them, they ate them. I mean, and that, when they conquered the Roman forces, the Roman army, it was because the Romans were on those great big, draft type horses that all armored up and they couldn't move. And those Mongolians on those little fast horses just ate them alive.
Man, my best horse has been a little Navajo horse, little res horse. My cousin, he's one of them roper guys, and they like them fancy horses. And he's always making fun of my Mustangs. Your Mustang, crap. I could feed my Mustang of the most molded bale of hay, and he'll wake up the next day and just go just as much.
Well, you got to get the right tool for the job, though. You don't see many Mustangs at the NFR.
But those Navajo
no, but it'd be nice if someone did.
Do what, Benny?
I said those Navajo horses are good horses.
They're kind of like my mules, aren't they?
They're tough,
I don't know,
big boned.
Paint mare's Navajo. I don't think I'll ever be allowed to ride paint mare again, though.
She got old?
No. That over there at the Taylor place, because
yeah. She was a nice little horse.
Tyler's middle daughter, yeah, she's taken that over. That's the horse that the kids ride in their rodeos.
That one I rode bucked.
hard.
Right
up until 4-year-old Olivia got on him that afternoon with no saddle and no bridle.
Well, I rode all the rough off of him. That's what happened. Time I was done with him, he is a kid's horse.
I guess that's accurate, Brett. That's accurate.
Oh no.
Yep.
Anyway,
I don't know that. I think they're making it tougher to fight, but I do see a lot. I see a lot of resistance for that 127 in California or in Colorado, and I'm seeing a lot of people pushing to protect ourselves in Arizona with the 134.
What's the 134? Oh, no, that you can't change the law by the ballot initiative or whatever.
Well, no, you can, but if you get a majority, you can't just take this county and get 1 million signatures, because if this county says no, then it don't happen. It's really a good checks and balances, because what they're doing is they're taking these really populated areas and getting their signatures and getting their votes, but the voting system's not really fair on that scale anymore. Like California, if you took, I don't know how you'd make it fair. I'm not a politician, or I never even sat around and thought about it. It's a lot of thinking. But when you have just millions of people,
it's a lot of thinking
in a concentrated area, the guys outside of that concentrated area don't have a chance,
No, yeah.
So,
the majority rules, and where the majority is in the city and they think different than us, then it's not fair.
And honestly,
right.
I think if, let's just say California wants to use hounds again, and they do a ballot initiative to bring back hounds, I think it should be where the hounds are used or where the hunting occurs, not in Los Angeles. Who gives a shit rat's ass?
Make it illegal to run hounds in Los Angeles. That's all right.
Yeah. If there's a town over 100,000 or whatever they want to invoke, then you can't run hounds over there. Or a county that has per square, how many people per square mile? Like Utah. What is Utah? Isn't Utah only it's not very much. 6 per square mile people. And I gotta look it up now.
I don't know.
I
know there's a lot of church steeples in Utah. There's those Mormons are everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. Let me tell you something about the Mormons. I just kind of plugging around about
Be careful.
the farmland they own. When this world goes to shit, you better know or be a Mormon, because the farmland and acres they own is out of. It's just ridiculous. It's just a plethora of acres. And they're smart. They'll own the crops. They'll own all that. If we go to shit or whatever happens, China ain't going to come over here and farm what they have. That stuff's going to be passed around. But the Mormons, they own a lot of acres. Look it up.
No, they believe in survival. I mean, that's
How you going to eat?
And taking care of their own. There's no doubt about that.
You're going to have to become a Mormon to eat. So, me, I'll just keep eating dogs and coyotes and bears and lions. And horses.
Whatever's available.
What
else?
Yeah, don't hunt cats in Denver. Yeah, make it where you can't hunt cats make it where you can't hunt a lion within 5 miles of Denver. I don't know. Or within a mile.
I don't think it's going to pass. From everything I've heard, I don't think it's going to pass.
It's looking good, because you got county commissioners, counties coming out saying this is bullshit. You got a lot of, and I'm glad this got a lot of attention. And it got so much attention that now there's a bill being pushed in Arizona to knock them idiot, scum-sucking, ragweed anti-hunters like Hases and all them. I better just be careful what I say, but the idiots. They're just stupid idiots. They're idiots.
Brainwashed idiots.
Effing business. Mind your own effing business. You know what I mean? How about we outlaw TV? That's what we do. That's all people do is watch TV. They don't, or their phones. How about you get back to family time? And we wouldn't have this problem of idiots. There's a lot of people. Do you hunt? Well, I used to as a kid. Why don't you now? Oh, I'm just too busy. That's the problem. The younger generation is the problem. It's not their fault. It's not their fault that their dads, they're worthless dads, or or their liberal, crappy parents didn't take them hunting or even give them the chance. Like with religion, my kids, I'm like, you can do whatever you want. If you want to go be a Jehovah's Witness, go ahead. So if you want to be a Mormon, go ahead. If you want to go to church, go ahead. It's not what I do, but you guys can do it all you want. You don't want to hunt, don't hunt. It's all right if you want to be a big.
But you expose them. But you expose them to it. I mean, that's your job.
I give them
the
opportunity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even at a young age. No, am I manipulating? Probably. I don't know what that was. Gave his little sisters a ride around the yard.
We missed a lot of that, Chris. You were glitching.
I don't know why. I got good internet here, too. My 10-year-old saddled up a horse, took his little 6-year-old sisters around the yard. They're exposed to that. I mean, I'm basically brainwashing, manipulating them. They have the opportunity to do it.
That's my grandson. I was supposed to leave to go on elk hunt with him today, and I couldn't make it. And but I was trying to find a picture here. Man, he started hunting lizards in the yard there up at camp when he was just a little bitty guy with his BB gun. And one thing about him that's really cool, I mean, he takes care of my dogs for the most part, and he's really, really good with them. I mean, he's unbelievable. He works with them with little scent drags and things like that. That's, I don't know how beneficial it is in the long run, but I think it's just another opportunity to be out with the dogs. And let me see if I can find this picture.
Yeah.
But
Anything you do with a dog is beneficial. It's creating a relationship, no matter how worthless you think it is.
yeah,
A
let me
lot of
see.
them don't have dads. That's 100% true. That
I
Well,
didn't, but I
I was
didn't.
gone for 4 years working, and that made a big impact. I've been home for 2 months full time, and the difference in attitude and relationship is 110, 180 degrees the opposite way of what it was. And I was here weekends, every weekend, but not being here full time it impacted. It was a big impact.
yeah, I more or less raised my grandson with my daughter. I mean, his dad wasn't around very much, so he was always with me, especially when I was up there
Yeah.
at camp and before I was living up there in the mountains, and he wasn't in school yet, so he spent lots and lots of time with me up there.
That's a
Any
fact, Gene. Kids can catch a dog. You can't all day.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
nothing that makes you madder. When I'm like, get your ass over here. Get over here. And that kid walks over there and it runs to that kid and you're like, you son of a gun.
Walks
God.
right up to it.
Right up. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how my son got that puppy from Richard Dickerson.
Oh
He
yeah, you
said
told
nobody
that
will
story.
catch that pup. He says, yeah. He says, boy, if you can catch that pup, I'll give it to you. And he showed up in a few minutes. He says, I wouldn't believe that.
You know, I had a, it's not dogs. I had a rooster you could not catch. And I had a kid come over, someone else's kid. And I said, I tell you what, you catch that rooster, you can have that son of a bitch. That kid spent 45 minutes chasing that rooster around until he caught that rooster. And I said, it's yours. You can have that dumb rooster. I'm tired of hitting it with a shovel.
Trying to find these pictures.
Where's Dylan? Is Dylan still here? You still here, Dylan? We should get him on for a couple minutes, I guess.
Yeah, he should have the link somewhere, shouldn't he?
I don't know. I didn't. Someone asked if Dylan was still here. Come on, Dylan, if you're listening. I know you're listening. Don't play hard to get. Wasn't he supposed to already go on a hunt or go shooting or do something?
Yeah, he'd said something. I kind of lost track.
Well, he didn't get on for a couple times. Or maybe we ignored him. I'm looking at comments here, guys. The San Gabriel Mountains, which are in Los Angeles County, have a lot of bears, mountain lions, and mule deer. Mules deer. It would be great for hound hunting. How far outside of San Gabriel Mountain in Los Angeles County? How far outside of Los Angeles are those? 10 miles? 5 miles? 15 miles? Lots of top-notch lion hunters are Mormon. I don't know any. He's a friend of mine. Did you already answer that, Benny? Roland
Yeah.
Mayan? Oh, I thought
Yeah,
that's
it's
who.
Mahan.
Or Mahan. Maine's deer season should be open. Dylan should be seeing deer now. Dylan! Damn it. I think he got off.
That's a
Gene Morris sent a funny welding, and I can't find it on my phone.
Hold on, guys. Are you, Chris, you're talking, but you have no sound again. I don't know what you keep doing. It's not me. Benny, can you talk?
I can talk. Can you hear?
Yeah, you're all right. It's Chris.
I don't know if that's the correct way to say that.
That's Chris?
I'm all right. It's just Chris.
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably not correct, but he's got to go off and come back on. We already got one thumbs down. What did we do? Whoop. There's my grandson when he was a little bitty guy. He's 20 years old now.
That's got to be about a 3.5-week-old pup.
As a little one, yeah. Let me see if I can find another one while Chris is messing around here. Here you go for all the coon hunters in the gallery. That little daytime coon right there, dog's treat. Chris must be having some
He keeps spitting off pieces of his cigar, and I think he's spitting it right into his technical stuff.
that was when I took him and he almost froze to death up there.
Hey, I'm with him. There wasn't even any snow when you took me.
It gets a little cold up there from time to time. It did. I never noticed it that much. I kind of got acclimated to it, I guess.
That's Chris Bird wants to know. There you go.
He was
Hey,
proud. That was a Boone and Crockett
I'll
lizard
guarantee,
right there.
I'll guarantee you that tail on that lizard's worth an extra 45 bonus points.
He run around out there with shorts on, no shirt, and barefooted and hunt those lizards.
You know, see this, Chris Bird? Question, guys, if you were going to carry a handgun for lions or just went out in the backcountry, what caliber would you choose? Just curious. So tell us the parameters of your lions. Are you gonna do everything by the book? Is this just self-protection? Are you trying to hide the big boom? Are you, what's your purpose? Because if it's illegal, we may have to consult other people that aren't here.
I don't carry it with me because I just don't have a lot of confidence in a handgun. But I think a 1911 45.
What
That's
caliber?
45.
45?
Yeah.
45 doesn't have a lot of range, but if you get hit, it's like getting hit by a bus.
Yeah, I carry it I carry it in my door sleeve of my truck, right there where it's handy. But when I'm out in the hills, I'm always I carry that 410. I like that little 410, and I've got like a number 6 shot, I guess, in the first three rounds, and then I have slugs after that. But you make sure, I've said this before, make sure you get high quality ammo in the slugs, because a low quality slug doesn't do much good. Don't ask me how I know, but I know. Another one of those top secret things.
I had a bobcat in a tree, and this guy that was there had some 22 shorts, and he kept hitting that bobcat and hitting that bobcat and hitting that bobcat with 22 shorts. And I said, why don't you just let me get up there and knock that bobcat out of there with a stick? So that's what I did. But I told a part of that story one time. I almost fell out laughing at that guy. He was screaming and squalling so much. But I can tell you that a 22 short, uh, 15 feet away from a bobcat has no effect on him.
Doesn't. You know, I didn't realize that until a guy that I really don't care for told me. I always thought you had to use a centerfire cartridge on lions here in New Mexico, but now you can use a rimfire, a 22. I'd like to I'd like to get a 22 mag Henry rifle.
Oh yeah,
to carry. I think that'd be just the ticket for a lion.
Yeah,
man, I used to carry, just in case something showed up, Model 94 22 mag.
Oh yeah,
in my scabbard. Yeah, and I probably killed 2,000 jackrabbits with it, and a couple dozen coyotes, and maybe one or two other animals that I'm not sure of.
Ocelots.
I was trying to get Henry to sponsor our show, but
we're not good enough.
They haven't gotten back to me yet. They did. They responded
enough.
The first time. They said, "Let me know. Maybe we can do some. We'll be able to work with you or something like that." And they never. I haven't heard back from them.
You sure the guy wasn't from California and seen the wrong episode?
Might have been. Doesn't matter. I'm going to say what I think anyway. I don't care about they can sponsor what I think or not.
Man, my internet sucks tonight.
Yeah, what's wrong? Is it Starlink?
Yeah, it's showing real low upload, like 3 megabytes.
Is it true that with that Starlink, Chris, that the more people in an area that are using Starlink, the slower it is?
That's what I heard, but it's like anything else. And then my camera decided it wanted to upload right now, so it might be why I have no service. I restarted my computer because I had a whole bunch of stuff open, and I had it kind of encrypted mode because I was checking all the game and fish officers' emails, seeing if my name was in any of them. So,
well, we talked about why did we start doing these lives? That's what I look back on it now, and I remember us all talking. Like it wasn't a Zoom meeting, it was one of these eCam things. But then I remember saying, hey, all we got to do is press this live button. It'll go live. And we just started doing it.
Well, and people started watching.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fun.
But I think
to get all the comments and everything, see the people that are here, it's pretty cool. And
I think more people would get on if they knew how easy it was to get on. And every time I invite somebody, they panic. Once they get on, they're like, man, that's pretty good. It's easy. And it is. You just start talking. We have no script. We have no, we just like to talk about what you talk about around a campfire.
Well,
period.
And we have a Benny. The other ones would do a lot better if they had a Benny.
And there's a lot of good podcasts out.
I'm not going to whore myself out just like this, all over the internet.
You're loyal.
Well, send that $5 back we've been sending you then, Benny.
Yeah, if you go somewhere else, we're going to cut your pay.
I think it's just when you have it's their opinions. We're not trying to state no facts, you know. And there's a lot of good podcasts out there that they have a lot of good information,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a lot of podcasts out of there that are real boring, you know.
Oh, Cold Strike started a podcast. We need
Yeah.
to call him out. I seen one episode. He had George Lambert on it. Where you can find it on Apple or Spotify, can't you? And
Yeah.
YouTube. So look up Cold Strike, guys. He interviewed George Lambert, and you know George has always been kind of a regular here.
Yeah. Dustin swiped them from us.
Dustin, Dustin from Cold Strike Gear.
I'll tell you what it is right here, right now.
He sells Garmin. He sells Garmin stuff too, doesn't he?
coldstrikegear.com, and he's picked up all the Garmin, so he sells all those.
Is that a
He's
conflict
pretty competitive.
though? Is that a conflict since W Hunting Supply sells that too? Is that a conflict of interest for us?
Not unless they're going to sponsor this show. If they want to sponsor this show, they want to put their little name on our show and say this live is brought to you by, you know, W.
Isn't it almost sponsored though because they take it and use it as a podcast?
If we send it to them. But we also have our own, so
yeah,
little competition won't hurt old Woodbury.
You see that? Michael Hanlon figured this deal out, Brett.
Michael Benny had to unretire after taking this gig.
Maybe he's paying us to be on the show.
He had to go get a job just to be on our show.
Got distracted. Where the heck is it at? I had it. I'm following them.
Oh, and then OnX. OnX more or less kind of sponsors this in a way. They sponsor my other channel, Born 100 Years Too Late. But I should also call them out. What is that code? 100 years? Born 100?
For what?
You get 20% off if you use that when you
OnX?
Yeah, because they sponsor me.
Years.
Is it 100 years?
100 years, isn't it?
I can't remember.
I'm going to look it up. I look it up right now. Let me go to your... If you guys would go to Born 100 Years Too Late and watch his last video, you would know this. People that are on here.
Also, a good company, and they've been really good to me, is Olight. And you use B100 YTL, and you get a percentage off, and then they give me a little kickback from that too.
Or you can go camping with Brett and just borrow his.
Yeah, and then take it, put it in your saddlebags, and tell him he dropped it on the trail.
He fell off his horse and lost it.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh dang. Stupid. Let me see. I'm looking for where Brett's running around, and he puts his little map up. Come on.
But any of those companies, I mean, when they contacted me, I told them about this channel and then about my Born 100, and they were good. Oh, there it is.
You find it?
100 years.
Just 100 years?
Now, if I can figure out how to get rid of it there. 100 years. And I think you get 20% off. And then I've sold 200 memberships for them.
There you go.
So they're pretty happy with me, I guess.
Hound Talk by Cold Strike.
Hound Talk by Cold Strike, yeah.
And let me tell you about the trouble I got into with that. Because I got a guy that said, those guys are thieving, stealing, no good for nothing. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Cold Strike is?
Well, yeah, I posted their little thing on one of the, I think it was Working Dog Alliance or one of the groups. He comes in just ragging about them. And I said, well, I guess Dustin's a busy guy. And he's like, I don't know who Dustin is, but those guys is. And I didn't realize it's not Cold Strike. It was Cold or ground strike or something. He misread it.
He got him confused.
He got him confused. Yeah, and then somebody deleted it. Maybe Dustin did, or maybe he did, and he got on there and said, "Oh, I don't think it's very. I think it's childish to delete me from the group." And I look it up. I'm like, "You're not deleted from the group. You're still in it." I don't know what happened. And Jared Fisher's the only other moderator or the admin on that. And I said, "You delete that?" And he said, I don't know how to delete that. So, Jared took a dog. He'll probably talk about it Wednesday, but he took a dog over there to the vet in Safford because it had a collapsed lung. And he thought he did it by snorting all them seeds, and it got all messed up. But he took it over there, and the dog ended up dying, like, quick. And when they cut it open to see what was wrong with it, it was like an old injury from last year. And they're kind of like, I can't believe this dog made it this long.
These hounds are tough.
It's a hound.
They're tough.
Nothing is
Hound.
tough. Nothing as tough as a hound.
Nope.
The only thing that might be as tough as a hound is a Mongolian man breaking a horse.
Or a kid, Mongolian kid. I've seen kids riding.
Yeah, them 8-year-olds would probably beat our asses up on that trail, But they're raised for that. Today, kids are raised in timeout or no, or they're not raised with a switch.
No.
Yeah, So
my dad didn't need a switch. He had whatever weapon was close to him.
Yep. Just like a Mexican mom with her chancla. Or a clump.
Hey, did any of you guys see any of those videos with John Clump and his longhorns?
Oh yeah, on Facebook.
That was that 4-year-old Olivia on that first longhorn on the front of the truck.
Yeah, she stole the show.
Yeah. Hey, look at Wayne Bisbee showed up.
There's Wayne. His daughter won a cook-off.
What?
Yeah, she up there. I think it was chili beans, wasn't it, Wayne?
Send us a picture. Got to have some pictures. Where's all of our pictures? Usually people are sending us a bunch of pictures and videos.
Did I show a video last week of my pack trip into the wilderness?
You just showed a teaser.
But it was a video, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I don't want to rub it in, so I won't show it again.
Is this it? Yeah, I think
Louisiana hunt. Why do you forget to hit record?
It's in the moment.
Yeah. I've done it 100 times.
Forget to.
I did. Show them lions. Show them Louisiana lions.
Oh yeah, this is cool. Now the question is this thing? Is it been taxidermied, or is it just?
Yeah, Jeremy. It's on a stand, and it. Well,
and that's a pump.
It's tied at the feet,
and that's a pump shotgun.
I know. What are they using? Like buckshot? Look
at that guy right there too. Look at that hat.
Must be a choo-choo train driver. There's one more.
Oh, shoot.
That lion was on some kind of a little stand.
Yeah, it's on a stand.
Look right there in the front. There's one of those rods going up.
How do I make it smaller?
I think it was just something they took a picture with, huh?
Yeah.
I don't, because I seen it looked like it had ties on the bottom feet. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, maybe that lion's alive. And look at that vest. That vest is a shotgun. It's got for the shotgun shells.
He's a bird hunter. He was out there bird hunting.
Yeah, he was quail hunting, and that lion came in to catch one of his quail, and he couldn't have that.
And that's supposed to be from Louisiana?
Maybe that's what it said. Delhi. Let me see. Let me go back. Killed in Delhi, Louisiana, 1937.
So it's one of those swamp lions.
Let me see. I'm trying to. Let me get you one picture of a kid with a coyote in the background in a trap.
From Louisiana also. Where'd you get these?
No, that's Jeremy, Louisiana Hunting, sent them to me.
Oh, okay,
Killed
cool.
in 1937. Is there a story behind that? Where is Jeremy? He's bored. I'm gonna send him a link.
Send him a link.
Jeremy, he probably has a link to the other one. Let me find it.
Look at that. Genetics, Benny. Genetics. That pup was a very natural dog. She trails and barks tree from her very first opportunity. See that pedigree he's got there? That dog goes back into that pedigree right there somewhere, Wayne.
The one I just sent you is from Gene Morris. It says, this is Doc, my girl's boy. He's 11 now. Hard kid to beat. Great eyes in the brush. Okay. What else was that? Oh, I'm sending Jeremy a link. There we go.
I wonder if I can speed up the voice on this. You know how you can on a video? We might have to speed it.
We can be fast talkers.
Well, we'll have to speed up Jeremy. Because he's from Louisiana.
They talk real slow.
He talks real
Louisiana,
slow.
if you get in a hurry when you're gator hunting, you will no longer be gator hunter. You will be gator hunting.
Live trapped a coyote right there, huh?
There you go.
Is that from Jeremy? No, that's from Gene Morris.
No, that's from Gene Morris, yeah.
It says coyotes in a roll cage. It looks a little round, doesn't it? That's so you can put a low bumper on the front of your pickup and roll him down the highway and get him all drunk.
All right.
There's a guy that I talked to up in northern New Mexico that they're sending some Krogan hounds down there to run coyotes. I told him, let me know how they do. A Krogan hound?
Yeah.
I think it's just like a running dog of some sort. Running walker, something like that. Krogan. I don't know anything about them. I'd like to see if I've never known anybody try to run coyotes in this country or even up there, but it'd be cool to see how they work.
I don't ride donkeys.
There was a guy over here, I think his name was Bobby. Can't think of his last name. He was really into coyote dogs. He had hundreds of coyote dogs, Slookies and all. He ended up dying. We got crossways when I had that good dog food from Iowa. He told me I was trying to triple my money on it, and I told him to pound sand. But that guy knew more about dogs in general than anybody I'd ever run into.
He was probably good friends with David, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Real good friends with David. He called me up and wanted to know about that. What was that dog food? Pizzazz. And he says, I understand you got some good dog food called Pizzazz. I said, yeah, it's pretty good. And you want how much? I said, I don't remember it. It seemed like it was 50 cents or 51 cents a pound. He says, yeah, you're tripling your money on that. I'll take 3 tons, but I'm not going to pay you that. I told him, pound sand, that's what it cost me to get it there from Iowa.
I mean, getting it there and everything, you should be able to make a little bit of money on it. Why is everybody so worried about someone else making a little money?
Well, but I didn't. I sold it even money. I did it just so that I could have good dog food for me, because I
I
had to buy a
I
minimum of 5 tons.
I honestly thought you were doubling your money, Benny.
I'll guarantee.
Just for you. Just to you.
There's Jeremy. Louisiana hunting.
So you talking crap tonight, Brett?
Nah, I,
Talking
I
crap every night.
I didn't say a
No different
thing,
tonight,
Jeremy.
Jeremy. No
I
different
heard
tonight
you.
than any other time.
I'm
I
going to
heard you.
put everybody's name up here now.
Now Benny was right about that line. And the guy was actually bird hunting, and it come up after, and his dogs bait it and killed it.
There you go.
With a Model
1937.
12,
Has there
number
been
6 shot.
has there been any lion sightings in that country that you know of, Jeremy?
There was one north of us about 4 years ago, and I think it got ran over, and they did necropsy on it. I think it was from South Dakota.
Oh, from South Dakota. I would have thought there'd be maybe some of those Florida lions coming up in that country.
No, everything we get from Texas or up north.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You'd think that, well, there's quite a few coon hunters in your country, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
You'd think if they get in there very often that those guys would tree one every now and then.
Yeah, I would think with the idiots that I hunt that I'd have found
They'll
one
just
by now.
They'd have trashed on one.
Mm-hmm.
tree something. Them lions, they travel too. I'm just surprised they don't travel over into it.
It's not
Well,
good.
you
Louisiana swamps is not good lion country.
Too wet?
used to be. We got enough deer to
Yeah.
support a population. Bring them kittens over here, Chris, and I'll turn them loose.
I'll drop 3 off at Benny's and I'll take the other 2 over to your house.
No, Chris won't deliver them. You got to go get them just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put some German
I'll just
Shepherd
drop
ears on
you a
them and
pin.
send them over.
You just turn them loose.
What you been
can
doing,
carry
Jeremy?
Anything under. Jeremy, you
Nah,
can carry
working.
anything. You can carry anything on the back of a welding truck if you put a tarp over it. It will never draw any suspicion. I heard that one time. I don't know if I should try it.
Well, I went through a border patrol checkpoint down there in the White Sands. I think if I could pass inspection, anything can pass.
Yeah.
They had one look at you and they knew you weren't from Mexico.
Just send them
That little
back.
border
Send
patrol
them
lady
right
just
back
shook
to
her head
Louisiana.
and flagged me on through.
Just let him go back home, please.
Yeah, don't stop him.
Jeremy, we had a black panther go through our backyard in the 1970s when I lived in the Ritter.
There's a bunch of them sighted down here, but I ain't never seen one.
They're like
Is that
Bigfoot.
like Clay Newcomb's Believer?
Yeah.
His dad thinks there's black panthers out there.
Black Panthers showed themselves when Obama was running for office. Remember, they
That
all
was a
got
party.
around and tried
That
to
wasn't a
intimidate
critter.
the voters. Oh,
Yeah.
they kind of acted like critters.
They say there's been no that melanin. How do you say it? Melanistic.
Melanistic.
That there's been no known lions that have been black. Now that's what I've always heard. Now jaguars, I think there's a melanistic.
Jaguars and leopards.
Yeah, they can
both
turn
do
black. But
melanistic thing.
lions, they say no, but they don't know everything either, I guess.
No, I mean, there's a possibility.
I guess so.
Could they be covered in swamp mud?
Down here, they'd be blue.
Is that what
Well,
your
at
mud
night, it all looks the same.
Huh.
If you see blue mud, you don't go through it.
Why is that? You
You're gonna be
sink?
stuck. Yeah. It has no
Huh.
bottom.
Why is it blue?
Rotten. Algae. I don't know. But it is blue.
That's crazy.
Especially around the Mississippi River. If you see blue mud there, you don't go forward. You better back up.
Suck you in. It's all red mud up where I'm at. Nice slippery clay. You can put it in forward drive, not move an inch, and only an inch of mud. Send you
I
all over the
hunted
road.
I hunted a little old place. I say little, I mean it's 1,500 acres. But the Corps of Engineers would bring in these road building crews because it's a lot of sandy dirt, and they would practice their, I guess what you would call maneuvers on building roads for the military to use in the sands of Afghanistan, Iraq, whatever. And they had a 80s model Suburban with tracks, and they had an Arctic Cat 4-wheeler with tracks. And if you saw those tracks, you didn't follow them. They could go where you couldn't.
They make it across that blue mud.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And I made that mistake a couple times.
I did read about that, Missy. Did you guys hear about the cat? Did you guys hear about the cat that was on the Newport dock last week? ODFW sedated it, but it fell off the dock and drowned before they could get to it.
That sounded like an advanced cat.
Here's your buddy, Benny.
That's like I see that. Excuse me. Arizona Game and Fish killed a jaguar by accident. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Was that El Jefe or
something like
Yeah,
that.
something.
Or-
I don't know.
Macho or I don't know. Yeah, they sedated it too much, right? Overheated it or something.
I don't know what they did. They should have hired John Klump. He's got extensive experience.
Yes, sir. Hold on, I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, he's gone. Gotta go pee pee.
You don't want
Oh,
to see shorts
he's in his
wearing.
Yeah, he's in his shorts or his underwear. That's what it is.
The little heart boxers.
So what do you think, Jeremy? Why do you do it? Just for the heartache, the pain, the troubles, the yelling,
That's what I
the
think
getting
here
stuck?
lately. Man, I don't know. It's something that gets in your blood and you just can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
Which I've had.
Do any of you guys see it as a challenge?
I think it's always a challenge. No
Even
matter how
old
good your dogs are.
challenging.
Yeah. Even no matter how good your dogs are, it's still a challenge. I mean, you know what's crazy is you'll hear this story a lot is when people get started and you'll hear the story of, I didn't catch something for 2 years. I didn't catch something for 3 years, you know, but they never quit. You know, a lot of those guys that get out there and they'll run with somebody. And I've had this happen a lot where you're running down the road, you rig a bear and you catch it 100 yards and they think this is cool. And they try to get dogs and they have to train them and everybody gives them their junk and they're having a hard time, you know, and it'll weed a lot of guys out, or they'll go buy dogs and they won't learn nothing about a dog. They just buy dogs that are made and they don't really know what they're looking for. They're just hoping that dog barks and goes. So that's why I always have said.
We already talked about those people, Chris. Are they real houndsmen?
I think they want to be. They have it in their head they're going to be, and then they realize, holy shit, like I lost my dog for 3 days, or, you know, the collars around their necks are worth $3,000. Well, not even more. I mean, if you have 5 dogs, you have $5,000 set of collars around their neck. You know.
Okay, so at this hound sale they had, hounds and mules, the top dog brought what, $17,800.
Yeah.
You know, 10 years ago, Richard Dickerson refused to sell some dogs for $25,000 a piece.
Mhm.
Steve Smith told me that to find the caliber of dog that I was accustomed to act like I wanted them to act, if someone would sell it for less than $22,000 today. So then the flip side of that is somebody willing to take a dog of that value, much less spend the money on it, and put it out there in the elements to pursue an animal that can cut its head off. And then
Well,
why do we do it? It's a
I think
challenge. At the end of the day, what did you do? And so you go for a week or a month and nothing happens. But then the offside of that is look how much time you got to spend out in the country, away from the city and away from the lights and away from the hustle and bustle, and just enjoy life. So I think it's a compound issue.
I think to answer your question, Benny, what makes a houndsman? Persistence and dedication. Somebody's willing to stick with the dogs and dedicated to make those dogs into what they can become.
Yeah.
You know, and then it goes back to bloodlines and the strain of breeding you get them from, whether or not they're going to do it early, middle of the run, or later on in life.
But how many people go out to their kennels and take the time when they're feeding them just to sit there and look at their dogs and get to know their traits when they're not out there running like they're scalded water? How many people spend the time just one on one with one of those dogs, each one at a time, or as a pack, and just, I've been hunting and I get down off my horse or my mule to open a gate, and the dogs run up to me, and I just sit down there and kneel down there on the ground and take my time with each one of those dogs. And hey, guys, come here, get a pet. I know nothing's going on, but let me scratch you on the head.
Well,
It's
see,
gotta
that's
be a
like
part of
that's like mine. Every one of mine needs singled out, but I can't stand to see one of them sit in a pen. Now I've got one that's got to sit in a pen right now because she's in heat and I ain't breeding her. Mainly because she's got to come out of this slump she's in before I ever even think about it. But
So you
we're
feel
pretty
bad when
happy.
you have to leave one in the pen? That's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I do too, but I divide mine into two packs. I got all female and then an all male.
See, I only have two gyps at the moment, and they're in kennels, and then all my male dogs are in a quarter-acre pasture. Just because they'll stay in, the females won't. And I've got one up here at the house, and he's just on a underground fence and protecting the chickens. But I can't stand to see them in that pen all day.
Yeah, that is
they
hard.
get
At least
sad.
I didn't have to work. If I was Britt Vaughn and retired, I want a daggum mule with 50 dogs in front of me every day.
I can't afford that many collars.
Who said you
They're
need
all
collars?
stick
Go back
together.
to old school.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, my dogs are too trashy for old school.
Mine are too.
No, when it's been a couple years though, but when I was in the mountains and then before, the dogs could only, 2 maybe 3 days free casting on a mule and they get real sore footed and then I'd rotate. But
Well, in
now,
y'all's country,
last
y'all
couple
have
years,
to
I haven't got
rotate.
a sore footed dog yet. I don't think.
Well, in y'all's country, y'all have to rotate. I can hunt mine 7 days a week.
Yeah, yeah, they get.
Because
I was just to get mine ready for Arizona. I was running them up and down a gravel road. But that's the closest thing I have to rock.
Yeah, I get
There's
mine
rock.
out. I don't know. I get them out 4 times a week, and just get them out here and you know you can call it lion hunting, but the chances of cutting a lion track are fairly slim. But at least they're getting out, exercise. And I've
And
caught
they're getting,
bobcats out there before. I mean, I
well, you're
caught a
working
coon
on a
way out
handle
there.
on the dog.
Oh yeah, they all. I won't put. I got to have a handle on my dogs. I mean, they.
But each time you take those dogs out, you are working with those dogs
Oh
in
yeah.
some form or fashion.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And we've caught. I mean, I caught a coon out there in the middle of the desert. I don't know what he was doing out there. No water around for miles. And dogs treat a coon.
Yeah.
He was
And
on a
we
walkabout.
we trail foxes. I know we do, but I can convince myself sometimes it's a lion also.
Hey, here's a good question for you guys.
Ugh.
Brett, you had to do this. You didn't buy a dog.
You know,
How could you fellas, how could you start a lion dog if you don't buy an old dog?
man, I tell you what, there's nothing easy about it. That's a fact.
It's a long process.
Yeah, it is. You learn. You just got to keep going and keep going and keep going. You got to have dogs that want to trail too. Dogs that'll want to trail in the dirt. And then you got to start figuring out how to differentiate between, how they start a lion track compared to other tracks, and how the dogs. I was talking to a guy just the other day. He was telling me that just by the way his dogs bark, how they open on a track, he can tell whether it's a lion track or what it is. And then you just keep working at it and trying to find those tracks and try to make sure you're going the right way, and then learn how to look at the country and learn the most opportune places to start a lion track. I mean, that's probably as big a part of it as anything. The guys who've hunted the same country, like the Mike Roots and the Warner Glenns and Steve Smiths and Benny Griffin and all these guys that have hunted the same country for years and years, they know when they leave in the morning, they know where they're going to hit a track, where they're going to try a track. Like Mike Root, I noticed, and Mike's old school. Matter of fact, he's giving me a hard time the other day. He called me from up on the mountain and he said, "Where you at?" I said, "Well, I'm out here with these dogs in this buggy." He said, "Well, you sounds like you're getting a little too used to that buggy. You need to be out there on a mule." I told him, I said, "Man, it's easy just to jump him in this buggy and take off instead of saddling that mule." But Mike has several mountain ranges, and I know I've listened to him and everything, talked to him. He goes out and he hits one little mountain range and he hits the places, the saddles and the places where those lions travel. And if there's nothing in there, then he'll skip to another mountain range, and see if there's a lion in that country. And once he gets on one, then he kind of knows where they're going and stays after them. But that's why these old dry ground lion hunters, when you give them $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to go catch a lion, you got to give them 10 days. I mean, because they got to go find where that lion's at. Right, Benny?
Yeah, and there's another thing too. Like the last time that I put a bunch of dogs together, I sent 2 6-month-old pups to Arizona to get trained, and they kept until they were 3. Well, there's another part of this equation that we don't talk about. I brought those dogs home, and they knew exactly how to catch a lion, and they would trail and trail and push and push and trail and trail and trail, and never caught a lion. And so and I've bought other dogs to make a pack, and I'm looking at this deal, and so how come my dogs won't push? It's almost like they run up against a wall, and we're just not going to finish the deal. And there's one part of this deal, this equation, that we don't hear enough about, and that's confidence. That dog has to have enough confidence in itself to make it to the end of that race. They can run, and that's how come you hear people say, well, this dog just wants to trail. Well, there are dogs that just want to trail, but what's the surroundings? What's going on? do they lack the confidence of being able to push that trailing all the way to the tree and find their game?
You
I think
you
they got to learn how to trick, or not to overrun the track, and the game they're after goes up sometime.
you know though. I mean, I've gone long stretches without catching a lion, and you go for a long stretch without catching a lion, and you'll begin to believe that those dogs, they're not moving a track to catch it. They're just trailing. They don't care. But then when you do catch that lion, you're amazed at how they can pick up and move and go catch it. Now, I believe that my female dogs are a little more too much track minded. They're pretty satisfied just to work a track. But those male dogs now, they'll pick up their head. When that thing warms up and you're on a fresh enough track, they'll go. But there's times when, especially out here in this desert, when we're just working tracks, and you get to thinking, you do that for 30 days or something like that. You get to thinking, well, these dogs they're not running to catch. They're just running to, or trailing to trail. But then when you hit that right track, it's a different story. I mean,
Well,
but it seems like though they always start it slow. They don't, even that good track, they're going to start it a little bit slower. And that's kind of the way. I always said the same thing. It's like those rattlesnakes. You sit there and you hear a lot of things out in the woods that sound like a rattlesnake, but then when you hear that rattlesnake, it's a rattlesnake. And it's the same thing with those dogs starting a track. You'll sit there and they'll start a fox, or they'll start this, or I've accused my dogs of cold trailing coyotes too. And and I've said it a bunch of times. I get trashy just like those dogs. I keep wanting to make it into a lion, and but man, when they hit that lion track and they start it right, and that intensity and those tails are going, and you just know it's a lion. You learn how to read those dogs. Does that make sense?
yeah, I think you gotta, going back to Trevin, I think you gotta be on what you know is a lion track, and you gotta be willing to walk that track out as much as you can visually see that track, and keep those dogs focused and trying to get them there. You know, when I put those dogs together, and my dogs knew what was going on, and they just wouldn't push hard enough, they slipped up and they caught a lion. And then their intensity changed that day. And just to get the most out of that lion, I never shot that lion. I knocked that lion out of the tree twice, and I made those dogs run that lion down and stretch it. And when those dogs stretched that mountain lion and killed it, that from that day forward, I had a different pack of dogs.
Well, the last two lions, well, no, the last lion I shot right away, but I got that big Tom. I caught him 2 times, and then the female, I caught her 3 times, and I got all the goodie I could out of them. They're too hard to come by down here in this desert to not do that.
Well, there's kind of 3 things on both sides. There's 3 things on a person. You have your area. It's damn near impossible, almost where you are, to get a dog like trained quick.
Oh no, you can't.
And then so your area is a big factor. Your time's a big factor, and patience. Like as a handler,
Yeah.
as a dog, good genetics. I don't know. I said genetics. Benny's gonna smile here in a
Benny
second.
stick his chest out.
And then no matter how much, I got Chris to admit it. So but then the 3 things on a dog is genetics, their intelligence, and the same thing, patience.
Well,
you got patience, and so I didn't have some old houndsman to show me what to do. I got dogs from an old houndsman, and I had tips, but I never got to go out and follow. The best thing you can do is go pal around with somebody.
Absolutely.
If they have patience enough. That goes back to our being a mentor, and you say yes or no, sir, and you listen to whatever he says. You can adjust it later on. You know, it's like buying a used car. You go knock it down on price, and you go home and do whatever you want with it. It's the same with dogs. Go run with someone, see how they do it, and then you fine tune it to your liking. You
And
know, but I think a lot of people they don't put in the time, even in a good area, and they don't have the patience because they think they watch the videos or they listen to this podcast or another one where the guy's, you know, great lion hunter and they go out and catch something in a day or hours, and they don't show the 10 days it took to make that video. So they kind of have it in their head that, oh man, I'm going to do a couple drags and, oh, look, my dog's putting his nose down and yapping at something and we're just going to go catch something. I mean, if you get lucky, you'll get a dog to do that. But man, it takes a lot of time,
and,
and game. Like you said, stretching that lion, getting them to bite up the bear's butt, whatever you're chasing. That's a big deal, you know. Even a man chasing a girl, you know, if you don't get to see her boobies, he's going to quit chasing her. You know what I mean? Like you have to have some sort
Oh
of
my
interest.
gosh.
leave
There
it
goes
to
a rabbit hole.
leave it to Chris to
Hey, I'm just trying to say it.
to go into
You know?
that. But
Hey,
there's ways to get your
things.
dogs. There's ways to get your dogs going. There's ways to get them trailing and to evaluate them as a trail dog. And then, I mean, I can go out there and I can see what I think's a lion track, and I'll have my dogs, you know, they'll be scattered around, they'll be hunting, doing it, and I can either step off my mule or get out of the buggy or whatever, and what I say is I say, where did he go? Where did he go? And they know from prior training that means there's something here. We're going to go looking for it. And man, they really put their nose to the ground and the boss says, where'd he go? There's something right here. And that comes from working with them in other ways.
He said,
let me take there right now. Trevin, I don't know Trevin's comments up here. I don't ever want to come across wrong, and especially for somebody that's trying to do something like this. I don't believe that because somebody bought a dog makes them less houndsman.
No.
I bought dogs in the middle of my whole career, you know, that things like that happen. But at the same time, there's not been one person that's come to me and said, how would you suggest I go about it? That I didn't say, spend the money once, take the shortest route, buy a good dog. I don't care if it's a 9 or 10-year-old dog. Buy a good dog, surround it with younger dogs that have the drive and the intensity. And I don't say overload this other dog. Don't put 20 dogs on the ground, a bunch of damn turd machines with one good dog. You're going to cause wreck. But if you would do that and go start with 2 young dogs and an old dog till your pack starts figuring things out and you've got a handle, then add another dog, then add another dog. But you can spend 15 years and $20 million feeding the wrong dogs, going about it wrong, chasing everything except what you're looking for, buying fuel, wearing out your wed wings or
Come on.
feeding horses and mules.
You're getting personal now, Benny.
No, but I was just saying, I would not ever suggest that anybody take the longest route possible.
Henry McIntyre never trained a dog. He bought all his dogs.
I never saw Henry as a houndsman, and that's just I saw Henry as a lion hunter.
Henry was a lion hunter.
And he was a lion hunter. But Henry also knew he wasn't a houndsman, and he could shorten his curve by buying top-notch dogs, and he didn't mind busting out the money and buying whatever dog he thought he wanted.
He knew the lions better, right? Because he didn't have to screw around with his dog, so he knew the way the lions worked with good dogs. And I don't think I think he's going back to where we were talking about. I've always said I don't think you'll learn to read a dog if you just go buy dogs. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think, is it easier? I'm spoiled now because I got older dogs. I hardly train a dog anymore because I just dump them with my old
Just
dogs.
we put them in with the old dogs, yeah.
And that's just as cheating as anything. But I also Jeremiah said it pretty good. Starting with the pup and doing everything the hard and wrong way, and years later catching your first is priceless because you made so many mistakes that you finally turned it. And then when you did catch something, you said, "Oh, dang."
There it is.
Yeah. I believe, and this is probably where Trevin's getting it from, and I've always said, you won't learn to read dogs unless you start with a young dog and watch that dog learn. You're going to learn with them, right? You're going to grow with them. His mistake is your mistake. Your mistake is his mistake. When you send that dog on that trail and get up the, because he opened up on it, you get up and there's a deer. And I'm like, oh man, I should have checked track. You get all excited because he's opening up. So I think just going and buying dogs, I just don't think you're going to learn a dog and how it works as well. Like you said, McIntyre, he's not a hound. He was a lion hunter, but damn, he didn't have to worry about dogs if you just go buy good dogs, and But that was his tool. I think he was doing it to make money. He went out to make money. He went out to catch lion. We're doing it.
Yeah,
a lot of guys. I would say 80% of houndsmen do it because of self-satisfaction of training a dog and catching your first lion. Everybody remembers their first lion, bear or coon or whatever.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
go buy a dog and catch a coon. It's like that dog already caught a bunch of coons. That dog already caught a bunch of lions. I think it's less satisfactory using someone else's work to catch your first lion if you want to be a houndsman. That makes sense.
Let me tell you how I did it. I'm a third generation houndsman. My dad's bloodlines are gone. My grandpa's bloodlines are gone. I ended up, this is the second set of hounds I've had since I've been an adult. I got a mutt we got for my son, and he kind of got me back into it because he does everything and does it right most of the time. So much so that I trusted him to take him to Arizona. So I bought a buddy of mine gave me a cur puppy, which he's got killing on his mind. He don't care about tree, and he'll run track, but that's it. I bought a puppy and trained it with these two, this mutt and this cur dog, and she's the best dog I own by far. I got another puppy, trained it with this dog and these two mutts, and then I got another puppy, and he's well on his way. So I carried a mutt, a cur, and a puppy to Arizona. And the other two had to stay at home because they were in
perfect pack.
Menagerie. I don't know. I bought when I bought my first pack of dogs. I bought 5 dogs, and when I asked the guy, I said, "Have they been on many lions?" He said, "No." He said, "But they've been on one lion many times." And he had that lion with a tracking collar on it and a chain tied to its foot. And they dang sure knew what a lion was, but they weren't trash broke by no means. Susie was about the best trash broke. I mean, she was a cat dog. And Bo, now, on the other hand, he was supposed to be broke, but he was a typical older male dog. After he knew I didn't know what I was doing, he come unbroke. He decided, I just want to run whatever. So that was an experience.
That poor old Susie dog, she sure got passed around a lot.
She went tree. If she couldn't sit in a tree, she went tree. But she was probably, everybody said the same thing, and I didn't know any different when I had her. Everybody said she was the best trail dog they ever had. And that that's been passed down, like Booger and P and them. They are all Suki now. Iris, Al. Well, Al, Uno, and Timmy. And Timmy's probably more like her than any of those male dogs. They go back to her, but they also out of Jazz. So, but they're
Yeah,
all
they go back to her on the dog side, on the top.
yeah on let's see, Solo. Solo was her daddy, and Solo was out of Susie. Solo was out of Susie and Bo, and then Solo was I bred Solo to Jazz, and that's where those terrorists came from. And
I
Timmy
hunted with
Timmy's pretty much straight cat dog. He won't even hardly mess with a fox now. He's pretty much a cat dog, but he gets a little lazy every now and then too.
I saw Susie in action when Tom owned her.
Yeah.
I was sick. I just hadn't been too long since I was diagnosed with all my heart and lung issues, and so they left me in the pickup and they went to the dogs, and so I came gimping up behind them, and I got there, and Susie was just getting ready to take those young dogs away from the tree.
Yep.
And Tom was asking me, "So what do you do about that, Benny?" I said, "Shoot that lion in the foot, jump that lion out." That lion was up there 65 feet off the ground at a big old ponderosa pine. And I said, "Shoot that lion in the foot or in the tail or something. Knock that lion out of that tree, make it jump. You're not going to hurt it for very long." "Oh, no, that lion's worth a lot of money. If I could get a paid hunter in here." Well, the paid hunter's not going to know that the toenail's broke. Come on. And, and so he wouldn't do it. And I said, "Well, all right. I guess you're not going to do anything to fix these pups and Susie." But that was just my attitude.
That's why Susie went down to Texas, because they put a line up on a rock and everything, and she could see it. But in those big tall pines, she'd leave the tree, and that's why. But everybody said the same thing. They said, if back in those days, they said if she had tree, she had been a real expensive lion hound. She was a good trail dog. But I didn't know any different anyway. I liked her. I liked old Bo. Bo was a good dog. He'd go get you something caught, whether it was what you wanted to catch or not.
Sounds like my fury.
Well, then I bought Lily too. Guy was going through a divorce, and I had been through a divorce just not too long before that, and I had a real soft place in my heart. And he was trying to sell dogs to get money, and that was Jeff over
Was
there.
that Jeff?
That was Jeff.
Okay.
And I went over there and bought Lily from him. And
Lily went back to that Newt dog.
yeah, Lily was. I call her cross-eyed Lily. Her eyes were real close together, and she was a neat dog.
She goes to that black dog, but there was a bunch of those little butterball fat white dogs.
Real
came
soft
out of that.
Real soft coated too. She had like a longer hair to her. Real silky.
When she died, you could have skinned her and made a pillow out of that deal.
Mm-hmm. She was a neat dog, I liked her. And then Lily, let's see. The terrorists, Bo and P, were out of Lily. Or not Bo. Booger and P were out of Lily solo cross.
Okay.
So that's between those dogs and Jazz is where all my dogs go back to, with the exception now I've got this running walker that I raise these other Suki out of, and then Iris and Rusty and Iris are out of P. It gets confusing. I got it written down somewhere.
What was that dog you brought to the rendezvous?
Oh, yeah. That's what it's about, too. The experience.
You want to listen to my little elegant talk here?
What was that dog you brought, Brett?
What's that? Oh, I bought that.
Which one are you talking about, Jeremy?
The one the older female he brought to the rendezvous.
Who?
You.
I didn't bring a dog to the rendezvous. Did I?
You brought 3 puppies and an older gyp. Red and white.
Iris. I brought Iris.
Iris, okay.
She handles like a border collie.
Iris is that one you've got so much promise for her future.
Well, Suki's the one, but Iris is she is double smart. I mean, double smart. When I caught that lion down there on the river, she trailed it, but then when she got to the tree and all that, she'd never been under a tree before. And when she got to the tree and all the dogs were barking, and of course, I holler at dogs to shut up in the kennel all the time. And she just sat there and looked at me, just kept glaring at me and all those. Of course, I was petting up the other dogs, and telling them good dogs, petting them up. And she just kept looking at me, and I hollered. I said, Iris, good girl, Iris, good girl. And after that, she ran, stood on the tree, wah, wah. But she wasn't going to do anything. But when you let her out of the dog box, she runs to her kennel and sits there in front. If the gate's locked, she just sits there in front of her kennel until you go open the gate and let her in. She's so obedient, but double smart. She'll tunnel. She's like a gopher. She'll tunnel, 10 feet to get out of her pen. Her whole pen's concreted in and everything and a roof on it because she will get out. But she's a neat dog. And Rusty's her full brother, and he's a real sharp-looking hound. He trails good. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with what I got right now. They'll all trail a lion real good. What was I going to say? Why? You guys want to know why? What do they say? I waxed elegant in one of my videos, I tried to put it together. I tried to make my video and package it where it would reach a wider or a broader audience. Trying to practice what I preach. I can't find it now.
This is where's my cricket music? Here.
Adventure makes us feel alive.
It's all about the experience. It's all about, whether you catch or not, watching your dogs work. Even if your dogs start trailing, you don't catch it. It's like a accomplishment, and then next time maybe they get a tree. And like Brett said, and I think someone else said too, that it's the confidence, right? So that dog sat there until you said, good girl. And that dog's like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to?
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, and then once you've done it long enough, I've been on a lot of bear and stuff, and my dogs, I call them off or shock them off a tree, and they're still going to tree. I did shock a dog a couple of weeks ago. Had a little tussle at the tree. Dog jumped, landed on a head. Nothing. You leave dogs on a tree, you're going to get somebody aggravated, too long. And there was a lot of dogs there, and but I shocked them right there. You know what they did? Turned around and started treeing again. They didn't care. They knew they did wrong. They knew they weren't supposed to. But that confidence, that attaboy, no matter what species you are, that attaboy, it's a confidence builder, So, but it's 100% about the experience. If you're about your dogs, if you're about just going out and catching lion, then go buy some dogs and go make some money. Go spend $20,000 on a dog and train 10 dogs after that. You'll get your money's worth. Ain't no different than buying a $50,000 side by side or a $80,000 truck or $10,000 worth of collars. You use them as a tool.
Larry Hendricks made his living off of hounds. When he was 35 years old, his wife divorced him, and he decided that he had a choice to make, and he chose to follow dogs. And so he probably screwed up for him and people close to him by letting all those dogs and that caliber of dog out for just anybody to breed into or to have. But all that aside, I asked him one time, I said, "So Larry, did you ever take hunters?" He said, "I took hunters for a couple months and I didn't like it." I said, "Well, then how do you get your name out there after all these years so you can make a living off of selling dogs?" He sold trained dogs, he sold pups, whatever. And he says, "You just got to work at it." He says, "You're already got your name out there because of mine and Steve's dogs." He said, "All you got to do is just quit your job, hunt 6 days a week like it is your job, and make dogs." I said, "Well, that's easy. Where do you get your health insurance?" Or, I mean, we get so bogged down in how we're supposed to behave. But I said one time, I said, "So I'm having trouble selling these pups for what they should be worth." And I was just wondering if I was to put a lion in a cage and take it to my house and make an anonymous phone call to the game department, they'd come out there and I'd be on the TV, the news, and everything. And if I had a lion in a cage, everybody would believe, hey, that guy could catch a lion. Didn't matter how I got it. Would that help? He said, "I'm sure that would help, but I don't know when you get out of jail if your name will still be good to sell dogs." So, how do you go about this deal like you're talking about, Chris? How do you how do you get enough dogs and enough time and enough everything where you
You
can
don't.
make money?
Well, you don't play football, baseball, basketball, or go golfing. Like if you're going to do dogs, you got to do dogs. There is no fishing on the weekends. There's in the summer times, you're not just sitting around saying, "Oh, it's summertime in Arizona. I can't run them for 2 months." You got to go out and chase coon or keep them dogs active or run them or chase coyotes, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm not saying be an outlaw, but I think if you want good dogs, you have to 100%. I was talking to my cousin about it today. Anything you do, it's ambition and motivation to do it. If you have the motivation, you really want to be the best houndsman out there, then get out there and be the best houndsman out there. But it's not happening just on the weekends. It's not happening once a
You,
month. It's not happening when it snows. You know,
Mm-mm.
it's about
it's happening
focus.
all the time. It's about happening all the time. And man, I don't get my dogs out enough. I know that. You know,
Do any
I
of
got
us?
no, I got a life. Honestly, you know what I mean. I'm not making money off it, and even if I was making money off it, I'm not making enough money. I've never seen no filthy rich guides. They're not just if they are, they're not just guiding, and they're far and few between. You know, so
I used
it
to hunt
costs
my
money to make
dogs.
money.
I used to hunt my dogs 4 days a week when I had the best dogs. But you know how do you how do you justify that when you got a wife and a bunch of kids and you
Oh,
got a house payment, car payments, and you know,
you you know how you be a rancher. Who has the best dogs? Someone who's out there every day and they can take their dogs out every day. And why are they? They're not going out to hunt lion. They're going out to save their cattle. They have motivation. You know,
when I
they have
first when
motivation.
I first started cowboying over there at New River, Arizona. Just a weekend gig, just whenever there was roundup, I'd go, and whenever I had time, I'd go, and it was with Don Pock and Gary Mallory and all of them, and they had their hounds, their lion dogs, and they didn't take the whole pack, but they took two or three dogs, and their lion dogs helped them work cattle. And if their lion dogs struck a lion track, then me and Don got to peel out of the cow works and follow hounds. And so along those lines, Chris, that works. And they're going to come across a lot more lions that way instead of finding a track or kill and have to come back the next day and give the lion a good sporting chance. You know, it's just a different life, like you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew a guy who got dogs, ran them, hunted them, trained them, caught a lion, and that's he was done. He did that to catch a lion, and that was it.
That's crazy.
That was his goal. That was his goal. He did his
But he
goal.
did
He went
it.
on to something else.
Yeah.
He did it. He did do it. Caught it in Florence, Arizona. Dry ground. Had Bam
I'm
Bam
gonna tell
walking.
you what. Yeah, Florence is tough country. There's nothing but sand down there.
That's horrible. Houndsmen are people that are self-employed and I couldn't run as much as I could if I wasn't self-employed.
That's when I was
Everybody,
self-employed.
yeah, everybody
There's
tells me
work.
right now, you gonna get a job? I'm like, I don't want a job. Like, I'll just find some more PI work. I don't, I've been self-employed for, gosh, I've took jobs here and there, but I took a job where I said I'd work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so I could hunt Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when there was nobody in the woods. On my day, any job I took, I tell them, I'll work weekends. I don't want, but I'll get Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off because there's nobody in the woods those days usually. So I took the days that I could go out and not have to deal with people. But I also, when I had a job, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be gone for a week, and they said, well, you don't have no vacation time. I'm like, well, then don't pay me. I don't know how you can afford that. I don't know. All the bricks of cocaine I sell and prostitutes I run. I don't know.
Those alternate
Keep peddling
sources
those
of
lion
income.
kittens, you'll be all right.
Yeah. I sell lion kittens. I only have to sell
Yeah,
2 or 3
labor.
every few months. So, I don't know. It is what you make of it, and it's hard, dude. It's hard if
I
you have
think
wife and kids.
everybody gets in the same boat. They're trying to figure out a way they can spend more time doing it and still, provide a living for yourself and your family. I mean, I was always fortunate because I was self-employed. And when I moved up on the mountain, I mean, I had a pretty good team, I guess is what you'd call it, that worked for me. I had 2 guys that worked for me, and I had a lady that worked for me. And they were all, the lady was, she was smart. And, she worked at home. She just did everything from her house. So it was real easy. But then, when she quit and then the other guy quit, Martin, well, we kind of had a disagreement and he went the other way. And then when COVID started and Danny quit, well, that kind of put a cramp in my style for sure. I could only do it for 2 years and then I sold the business. I said, man, this work's taking way too much time.
What do you mean I have to be there?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So.
Well, Brett,
and then
Brett's got a unique deal too with his second wife. She really genuinely wants Brett to be happy, and she says you need to get out in the hills a little more.
Well, I get grumpy if I have to stay around too long and don't get out. I get grumpy. I mean, I get grouchy, and she looks at me and she says, "Well, you need to go somewhere for a little while."
It's not that she wants him to; she just don't want to deal with his ass. I was gone for 4 years, but I can't make over $100,000 up here on the mountain. There's no money up here. So in those 4 years, it's hard to come home on the weekends. And I'd usually come home Thursday night if I could. And what am I going to do? Disappear for 3 days? I already didn't see my kids or my wife. Well, my wife probably didn't care if I kicked me out. But, so then I'm stuck at home trying to be a father and a husband, and it's hard to get on a mule. And
it's hard when you got kids. When you got kids, I mean, that's tough.
Young kids.
Yeah.
My boys are old enough where I can take them on a mule and go. I got enough horses, they'll go. And most of my horses, even my dirty old Chupacabra Mustang, if you watch my branded video, I think it's on my Feral Family one. They ride that horse and it bucked one of my kids off, Trevor.
Oh, hey, I forgot to say, yesterday was my wedding anniversary. I've been married.
Did you remember that just now?
No, I remembered it yesterday. She reminded me Saturday night. She said, tomorrow's our anniversary. And Saturday morning, she reminded me. But I've been married 26 years. But in total, I've been married 40 years of my life. I was married to the first lady for 14 years. And then this one, 26 years. So 40 years. Can you imagine that?
Man.
That's crazy. Benny shakes his head, yes.
Yeah. How many years you been married, Benny?
40.
Yeah.
So you were married 42. Wow. I traded out, though, about after a little while. The first one didn't like me at all.
You know, my
My first one didn't
10-year-old.
like me either.
But you're still with her.
Mine don't either, Benny.
Look at my son. What am my son talking crap? My 10-year-old, that was karma. He took my turn. What are they talking about? Someone's talking crap on it. What am I talking? You know, my 10-year-old has a girlfriend, you know, and she came over this weekend with hanging out, riding quads or horse, whatever. And I thought, man, how nice would it be to be with someone to your whole life, you know, like meet them at 10 years old, date them, and just die with them. It's very rare these
this
days.
coming from you. And how many wives have you had?
It's all their fault. It's you know, it's hard for women to deal with perfection, and I tried my hardest not to be perfect, but it was.
Wasn't there a
it
country
just comes
song
out.
like that?
You talking about staying with a woman from the time you're 10 years old.
Hey,
Oh.
if I could, I would have, but I don't know. Hard to live with. I'm hard to live with.
I
So,
can believe that.
I've tried to divorce my one now. I always tell her I'm gonna go down to Holbrook. That's where the county is, file divorce. She says, no, you're not. I'm like, damn. She won't even let me do that. That's how mom ran her.
Who's Trevor's? What I want to know.
That's his twin brother.
Oh, okay.
So
I was gonna say, in the rest of the world, it's Sancho, but they don't have any Mexicans in Cholo.
Sancho.
no,
We got
no.
Jody here. So
It's like
Jody. That's military, Jody.
It's like that joke I heard the other day. Guy said, this is a public service announcement. We just want you guys to know that vasectomies don't always work. Not only that every now and then a guy will have a vasectomy and then he'll have a kid and it'll be black.
Well, because of the vasectomy, it takes out the color sometimes.
And not to
throws
mention
different kids.
And not to mention the neighbor guy is black.
Yeah. My wife's on auction because I take her for Gene Morris. Don't divorce. Well, that's because when I say I'm gonna get a divorce, I say you get everything, the kids, everything. I said, you want the dogs? You can have the dogs too. My wife says, no, no, nothing. That from the guy who has 9 kids that he knows about. That is true.
9?
that's the only ones he's paying for.
I never had to pay for a kid. I got custody of all my kids. So, yeah. That's all I can say. And 3 of them, of the older ones, are living back here again. So,
Boomerang kids.
Like Cody.
That's because they're spying on you. One's a police officer and one's a game warden.
well, Cody, yeah, you know, every time he calls me, I said, whatever it was, I wasn't there and I'm nowhere near it. He says, well, I just got a question for you. He goes, I'm not giving you my work phone number until I have to call you on my work number. It's all right. I always answer in Spanish to numbers I don't know. Those Eastern Indians, they don't know Spanish. I try to talk to them about Medicare and car insurance in Spanish, and they won't talk back. So, yep. So,
What are you looking at, Brett?
I am trying.
No,
I was going to try to share this thing.
have you been working on that this whole time?
No.
Oh.
I get sidetracked every now and then. I don't know if it'll share.
And then had a colored
We
daughter.
don't either.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy, when you come back to Arizona?
Can you guys hear
not
that?
seeing- We can hear it.
So many people
I'm
really
thinking
don't
about
understand.
December.
There's a rhythm to the chase, something ancient and alive, like the pulse of the wilderness itself. It's not born of hatred or malice. No, this isn't about a war with the mountain lion. It's about understanding. about honoring the dance that nature itself has choreographed. We follow the hounds because they are creatures of instinct and purpose, bred through the generations to chase the unseen, to read the wind, the earth, the stories hidden in their tracks. There's a purity in it, a connection to something primal, something that moves beneath the surface of who we are. When a hound casts its nose to the ground, it's more than just a pursuit. It's a communion with the land, with time, with the wild spirit of the desert. We follow them because through their eyes we see the land as it truly is, untamed, unforgiving, and achingly beautiful. It's not about the lion, not in the way some might think. The lion is a symbol of wildness, a shadow that reminds us that there is still mystery in the world. We don't follow to conquer, to claim a prize. We follow because in that moment we are no longer ourselves, but a part of something greater, something that stretches back to the first of dawn. Through the hounds we are led into places few have touched, places where the world feels endless and time slows down. We follow because every trail they lay their nose to carries with it the scent of adventure, of wild places, and of freedom. It's not the end of the chase that drives us, it's the journey itself. The miles covered, the valleys crossed, the ridgelines crested. It's in these moments that we find our place in the world. Following hounds is a way to hear the land speak, to feel the heart of the wild beat and rhythm with our own. This isn't about dominance or trophies. It's about understanding why we're drawn to the wild, why we follow, and why, like the hounds, we return time and again to these wild places, chasing not only the lion's trail, but a piece of our own untamed spirit. Freedom. There's the why.
There's the why.
How long did it take you to get that just right, Brett?
One time.
A long time. And then I still
How much?
and then I still debated because I thought, well, you know, I don't know. It's kind of I thought maybe sometimes it sounded too good. I don't know. And
It's
I
hard
just
to
put,
listen to
I'm
your
back to
own
Coyote.
self.
yeah, it is. It's hard to do a voiceover and listen to yourself, record it, and then try to. So you put a little music in the bottom of it and try to damper it a little bit, I guess. But
I quit trying. I just typed mine. Let it play on the screen.
yeah, I just
Let
put it
the
at the
AI
end.
let the AI voice take over.
I put it on that one
Yeah.
video just because the video really, it says why, but the video, the thumbnail and everything showed like that old shack that was out there in the middle of nowhere. And the video was kind of about going, to that old shack and traveling. But then I was hoping that it would bring in a broader audience and then they would get to hear that because the dogs were trailing a lion that day. So I don't know.
That's a good sound bite you need to put with some clips. That's the stuff that needs to be put on Instagram. Like just that, what is that, 15, 20, 30 seconds? How long is that'd be a good sound bite. It's longer,
Yeah, I don't
ain't
know.
it? Like a
It would.
minute.
Yeah, I don't know how long it is. But
If you just
yeah,
took some sound bite, or if you just took some videos that of just little clips of
it's
dogs trailing.
it's the same thing. I mean, if you could get it to the right audience, I mean, to just people who don't understand. But if you make it straight about lion hunting, say, people just won't listen to it. They won't care. They won't.
You put that on your 100
Yeah,
years
Yeah.
too late, didn't you?
Yeah,
On
a
one
couple
of your
videos
videos.
ago.
that's what I did because that channel attracts a broad audience. It attracts people a lot of people who don't know anything about hounds or lion hunting or anything like that. And, I think that video's got over 30 something thousand views right now. So that's quite a few folks that have, hopefully they got to listen to that and maybe they'll say, oh, wow, that's why they got those antennas on those collars. Because I get a lot of questions like that because I've taken that channel and broadened it out to a broader audience. That I'm the thing with that channel is most of the time I go somewhere, I always got hounds with me, and usually I'm going someplace where there's it's the chances for me to hit a lion track are fairly good. So Try to make it about but it's the broader picture is about something else.
Yeah.
Man, I can't get it to work, Benny.
I don't know.
Your
Now
thumbs up
try
worked
the
a
other one.
second ago. Now throw
Now
the other one up there. He has to hold
do
the
one
phone.
and then
I'm holding it tonight. I don't have my little holder. They won't
do
take
one
it
at a
out.
time.
You got your leg or something in the way. Your foot.
Yeah, it was in the camera.
That's the song I was thinking of, Chris.
Lord, it's hard to be humble in
Hmm.
every way. Yep.
I
It
can't
is.
wait
Maybe
to
that
look
should.
in the mirror.
That's the very
Yeah.
definition of Chris Watson.
It's an everyday chore. It ain't easy. I'm telling you that. I try to tell my wife every day. She just don't listen.
Guys, I'm gonna bug out. I gotta get on that blade again tomorrow, and I'm not even looking forward to it.
Well, Benny, thanks for stopping in.
Your words of
See
wisdom.
y'all.
Benny,
Yeah.
I'm gonna swoop down in December and grab you and make you hunt the snow.
Take a
Yeah,
picture.
good luck. Good luck.
Hey, I do know how to
See,
now. I ain't good at
see
it,
you
but I do
guys.
know how.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you, Benny. Thanks.
Lord,
What?
you got me big.
Got you big. You are big. It doesn't. It
No.
doesn't. I seen
No,
you in person.
I didn't know he was 6'8".
I know.
I'm 6'4".
Right?
Might as well be 6'8".
You got to be that big to walk in these swamps.
Oh, I bet. That at
Well,
least
when I
four,
say, oh, it
at
was
least
only
3
knee
foot
deep
of you.
It's only knee deep, less waist deep for everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the same as Vaughn wrote it. It's a great explanation. Divorced. Mhm.
So, all right, let's tell the truth now. That Miss Tammy wrote that for you, didn't she?
No, she didn't. I don't even think she's ever listened to it.
She's too afraid to come in that building because there's a camera inside that building.
She's scared to death of cameras and everything else.
Yeah.
This is.
You want to get
out-
rid of Tammy? Pull out a camera.
I know her and my wife were picking on us about our choice of music and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
They had some good conversations about us.
I imagine. I imagine. So, how is the rendezvous coming for next year, Chris? How is that? Are you
Got
still
a
working on
spot.
it? You got a spot?
You got a bigger spot. Don't have a creek, but I guess it's pretty big. So it's where the forestry sticks all their firefighters when they got a fire over there. And he said it holds up to 200 people. So never know. We may have that much next year. We know what to do. We know what to do now. So hopefully it'll be better.
What would you do different, you think? I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, well, yeah. We had one day. We're going to be able to get in there Thursday. Stay till Wednesday, probably.
I think we had 2. I think Sunday was the best.
She got it till Wednesday. Sunday was the best day, actually.
Yeah.
You know, we just sat around and BS'd. So, but I'm sure we'll have it more organized. You know, we just kind of threw it together and still had 60-something people there. We had 40 dinners bought, right? Wasn't it like 40 dinners? You know, and people showed up and left. So we had a good interview with Joe Hott. Just got to get a better mic to get up close to their mouth or something that really picks up, or
Yeah.
You know, or a clip-on mic.
Or have those mics like I used with Rick Dickerson.
Yeah.
Is it a
I got
clip-on?
those.
Oh, the one you hold?
Well, they're Rode mics and I had them just in front of us.
Yeah.
No, were we holding them?
Yeah, we're holding them.
We were holding them. Yeah, they work good.
Yeah, you were holding them. Maybe a clip-on one that clips on their shirt right here.
I've got the Rode wireless mics too. Yeah.
That might be good for some of them old timers because they don't want to put those headphones on.
The headphones are the best.
Oh yeah, they are, but those guys never want to wear them, do they?
Not really. I got that interview with Warner Glenn, but wouldn't ask him to put one on. I just used the Rode mics.
Well, most of them don't want to take off their cowboy hat.
Probably not, yeah.
They look like this. Bald headed.
They don't like taking off their hats.
I got all my hair. My dad's just as bald headed as can be.
Yeah, my dad's bald headed as can be. I made it to almost 50 with this much hair, and I'm good. Happy it can fall out now. So
I don't.
My
care.
charm will move me on in life.
Your charm.
My charm.
All right,
Just ask
guys.
Tierra. Just ask Tierra. I'm full of charm.
I think she said that was something else.
It could be.
Yeah, full of crap.
So I think we got our point across. I think enough people said why. There's a lot of different whys, but I think the consensus is about the same throughout the whole community for an average houndsman that's just into dogs, not a guide that runs lions, just a guy who wants to run dogs.
It's a passion for sure.
If I was looking for an Airedale that I was going to hunt, I would find a red line. Look up red line Airedales. Matt Tome. There's a guy named Matt Tome. I think he's on Facebook. He has really good hunting line of Airedales.
Yep.
Where are they out of, Brett?
I think Matt's in Oklahoma now. He used to be in Arizona. See, him and a guy named John Henry. John Henry had a site called a bulletin board called the Coyote Gods. And they both had Airedales. And John Henry caught quite a few bears too. But they hunted coyotes a lot. And they trained those dogs to toll those coyotes in. That was back when they first come out with the shock collars. And they teach those dogs to come in on a tone. And they'd have a dog on stand with them. And then they'd call a coyote. When the coyote would come in, that dog would go out and kind of engage that coyote. And they'd tone that dog to come back to them. And pretty soon, those coyotes would get to how a coyote trail, run behind a dog thinking he's chasing
decoy
him off.
Dog?
Yeah, like a decoy dog. And pretty soon those dogs, the Airedales, they're really pretty smart dogs. They figured it out. And they start tolling those dogs back to the gunshot, until they shoot them. Then they'd run in there and get to wool that coyote. It got to be a game with them. I don't even know what happened to John Henry. He was kind of an arrogant dude, but he real well-spoken. And he had his opinions about everything. He pissed a lot of people off. But him and Matt were good friends. Matt lived down there with him, I think, for a while. And they traded dogs and raised dogs and everything. This was back before Facebook or anything like that. Back in the bulletin board days. And then all of a sudden John Henry was gone. I mean, I never heard anything from him or where he went to or nothing. But Matt, I've seen him on Facebook a couple times. And then there was a guy, where was that other guy out of? Had some good hunting line. You got to get, because the show crowd got a hold of Airedales, and you have to be careful because they'll of course, they bred them just for show. So they bred a lot of the hunt out of them, the good part of them. So, but there's still some out there. And then I had a dog from South Africa, and I had a dog imported from Germany. And then I had some females, and they would hunt now. The German dog wouldn't hunt. The African dog would. The German dog was more he was come out of that Schutzen, all the, his pedigree went back to all these Schutzen bred dogs. They real obedient and work, did bite work and stuff like that.
So what'd you hunt with them? Did you hunt coyotes with them?
I hunted everything in the world, coons and everything else with them.
Whatever they chase.
Yeah, I didn't know any different. I took them bear hunting too, and I never got a bear caught with them. Huh? What's
That's where
that?
you're trashing it from.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just knew what I'd been told, and it wasn't the right stuff. That's for sure. But no, I took them all over the place. What's that?
Did you learn from it?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I learned.
And
some.
sight hounds are a bit different than a.
Well, then when I
sit
went with
hound.
sight hounds, then I just, I decided I was seeing a lot of coyotes and stuff, and I'm not in the best country in the world to run sight hounds either. And so what I started doing was calling coyotes in. I thought, well, if you call coyotes in to decoy them with a decoy dog, why can't you just have a dog that's capable of running that son of a gun down and catching it? So we didn't have a lot of open country here, so I had to go out and call. And I try to call and lure those coyotes into more open areas where my sight hounds would have a chance to go catch them. And it worked fairly good. I did a lot of jump work too out on the alfalfa pivots. I caught a lot of coyotes out there, and then I would go spotlight at night, and I'd run those pivots and spotlight coyotes and run those dogs on coyotes under the spotlight. And that was a lot of fun. But then I caught that lion. I caught a lion with them, with the sight hounds. I called that lion in, and the dogs ran him down and caught him, or caught her. It was a small lion, but dadgum, that I always wanted to hunt lions anyway, and I thought, dadgum, they got lions out here. So I went bananas with that. The coyote hunting, all my coyote dogs, they got old and died. I just kind of replaced them with hounds,
Yep.
But I hunted coyotes on horseback too. I got where I went out there with that call, and I just down by Mexico, you could just ride around with that call on your saddle horn, blast them, just go, and then you'd see those coyotes. You could see them out in the distance. They'd kind of come across, get those dogs sighted on them, and then go take off running, chase them down. It's fun. It's good sport.
Speaking of which, mine's just started up. I'm finna have to go check on him, see what he's got bait up.
My cousin called. He has some of my dogs, just pets, and they had a bear or something treed in his yard last night because those bears always. He's in California, and I was just talking to somebody. I think I was talking on my show last week where I said it's bred into those dogs. You don't have to train a dog when it's bred in them. They just want to hunt any dog. I was picking up
You just gotta
alfalfa.
bring it out of them.
Yeah, out of a farmer's over there, and they're just mutt dogs were chasing rabbits, and 2 or 3 of them trying to get them out of the wood pile. So
look at that. It looks like a professional coon hunter right there.
Yeah, it is right there. That's a Louisiana hound boy right there.
What is it, Pablo?
Another bear in the attic.
It's probably a black panther they got treed out there. We're going to see it
he's
live
got about
on
8 deer.
Well, guys, what do you think?
I think it's night time. I'm working on the shop tomorrow, so
I am taking my grandson elk hunting tomorrow.
good deal.
Elk.
I got a meeting tomorrow night, video meeting for the Arizona Working Dog Alliance with a bunch of guys. See what we can figure out.
Really?
Yeah.
And then if we don't find any elk, I told him that I would take him bear hunting.
There you go.
So Chris is rubbing off on you, isn't he?
I just need to get somebody down here that's got some good bear hounds, catch a bear for him.
Where is it at?
I don't know. Anywhere in New Mexico. Probably go somewhere. Oh. I wouldn't want to go up on my old camp and run bears. That's
too rough.
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible.
Lots of roads help.
Yeah.
You buy him a bear tag and bring him to Louisiana and we'll fill it.
Okay, that's a long ways to go. I can drive about 2.5 hours up here. Find a bear to run, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't get drawn, by the way, either. So,
yeah.
I think that
Well,
spent enough money with this.
yeah. Well, Jeremy, thanks for coming on. We like to keep you
Well,
up
thanks for
late.
having me, guys.
So
That's a good Idaho. That's a good one right there. I tell people all the time I don't teach my dogs what to hunt. I teach them what not to hunt. That's exactly right.
yep.
That's good. I wish
And
I'd have said
sometimes
that.
they learn.
I wish I'd have said that.
Well, just delete that comment and we'll say we said it.
I'll say it next week.
All righty,
I'm riding
guys.
horse tomorrow after we clean work on the shop. Sounds
Yeah,
good, guys. Thanks for everybody for showing
We'll
up.
see y'all.
Thank you, Jeremy, for dropping in.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.
Chris, as always,
Another day, another way.
another way. All right,
All righty.
guys. We'll see
Later.
you.